That's right back, Charlie.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
People.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Are we live? Another day, another live stream. People deluded, I'm back again. As usual, people, appreciative of all of you lot tuned in. Hope everyone's having a progressive week. Hopefully everyone and their loved ones are fit and healthy. One love for tuning in, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, you're turning your notifications on, you're commenting any thoughts you have, etc, etc. Shameless plug o'clock, but at 3:15 I'm live with Babs. That will be on Twitch and YouTube. This is all today, UK time. Obviously adjust the clock. 4:30 we're playing FM in it. The grind don't stop, people. As usual, appreciative of you lot tuned in. Thank you very much for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases good night. Again, shout to the ones overseas and shout to the ones in the United Kingdom. As I said, it's Wednesday. It's the halfway point of the week. I know if you're in the United Kingdom, you had a bank holiday, people, but you know we got to grind, people. So I hope you're having a progressive week in your personal and private and them thing lives and that. 1 second, people. I'm still here. Just want the fan, obviously, you know, energy prices are up. If this fan's going to be on, I might as well benefit from the air that is transmitting, innit? Me get comfortable and things like that, people. Yeah, shout out you, Graham. I'm doing well, my guy. Do you know what? I am doing well, but I was in a ponderous mood today, man. I was in a thoughtful mood. I don't even know if that's the word, like centered around entitlement. Me and my brethren were having a mad discussion about entitlement and people, whether they're entitled to your time, whether they're entitled to being part of your life, whether you make it or anything and you have to bring them in and all of these sort of things. I find a lot of people, and I guess to some degree, I'm no different. I don't like entitlement. No one's entitled to give you anything in it and things. And stressed out, I keep getting several calls from an unknown number. I don't know what I've done. I'm picking up the phone when we're both gonna stay silent because I don't know who it is, but I don't answer private numbers. If you need my number, if you have my number, then you don't need to call on private. So we're just gonna be there like sitting ducks. I don't know if it's a prank call thing or whatever. Obviously, where Arsenal's concerned, Toney versus Arsenal versus Brentford. The beef is still alive and kicking. He's in his feelings, and when Brentford do eventually beat us again, hopefully that's not this season. He's gonna do the chattings, people. Hope you're doing well and safe. Shout out everyone locked in from Texas as well. And big up my 9-to-5ers. Well, technically not 9 to 5. You're doing the overnight shift. But shout out to everyone just trying to pay their bills, man. Come on, top of the morning, live from Planet X. Come on. Jesus spoke to go and sounds like his omission from the Brazil national team squad was not due to Edu and Tite chat. Thoughts? From a selfish Arsenal point of view, obviously, first thing, we can't keep players fit. When some players are back fit, we hear rumblings about injuries. So definitely where Gabriel Jesus is concerned. And I want to speak about it in a bit. But I was actually just sat here before I came on. I was like, who is Arsenal's most important player? I think you could say Jesus, but centering on what you've actually asked me, Daryl, shout out to yourself. Obviously, from a selfish Arsenal point of view, he has, I assume, a couple of days off to be with his family, not train, not play, decrease the risk of injury. Obviously, we now need to prepare within these 2 weeks for the North London derby. He's available, and that extends to him, Ben White. Obviously, Smith Rowe hasn't been fit, so England's a myth. But Smith Rowe, all of these guys, from a selfish Arsenal point of view, I don't really care because obviously, we get to rest players, but obviously for Gabriel Jesus and these sort of things, you want as many players to be in the international setup. Obviously representing your country and your nation is a dream, really, and it's an honor and things like that. So it's a bit disappointing, and hopefully he gets in the team. Hopefully his omission and Martinelli's and Gabriel's is for the national team gaffer to try out other players and things, bearing in mind for all countries this is the last international break before the World Cup. Again, we're in uncharted we're in uncharted territory. So my point is basically the bulk of these international managers, they already know the players that they're picking. The bulk of the squad, there might be 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 names that they're thinking, can they get involved? For England, Ivan Toney, you probably, the way Tammy's playing, Tammy's probably going off with England. Kane is Kane. Raheem Sterling is a winger and things, but he can play up front. You could sneak Ivan Toney in there. He can take penalties, and we could learn a thing where England's concerned. So the bulk of the plan is probably done, and I'd imagine Gabriel Jesus goes. It'd be disappointing if he doesn't, because he's been good this season, but it is what it is. He's just got to respect the manager's decision and give him every reason to not allow him out of the team, not pick him, if that makes sense. And that goes for him, Saliba, Ben White, Ramsdale, any of there's not many players that are probably going to go off to the World Cup. If you had to really bet on Arsenal, my bets would probably be on Saka, Ramsdale, Jesus. There's probably a name I'm forgetting. You hope Ben White goes. How he hasn't been called up for England, I don't know. There was rumours he might not be fit. I don't know how he's not in the team, and Connor Cody and Maguire are, but clearly that's not necessarily on form. That's on reputation and probably how they are in and around the England camp. So disappointing for Jesus. I'll take it though, man. Toney, I like, bro. To be fair, we'll get onto it, man. I hope you're doing good, I'm dead there, man. To get all your DG merch, go to the store. Big up the Nightbot for the shameless plug. We're getting up to Christmas, man. Get ahead of it. So yeah, shout out to you lot. On that topic as well, people. Let me make a timestamp. I was thinking about it. Who is Arsenal's most important player? Now, obviously, it's a squad game and all of these sort of things. It's very dangerous to rely on one single player and things like that. But who is Arsenal's most important player? Like, I sat here and I tried to think about it and deep it, people. And I just wrote down some names. Like, obviously, you don't need to see the Google Doc sheet, or you can if you want, even though it's boring. I tried to think who is Arsenal's. There's just my notes for later, people. I need to get the loan report out. But who is Arsenal's most important player? Like, you could say Partey. Obviously, if he's not in midfield, it's a myth, and obviously we haven't got any sixes and things like that in the team that can do what Partey does. Him and Xhaka's our first choice pivot. That extends to Xhaka. He's basically the captain. He's a big character on and off the field. He's playing quite well. We don't have any other midfielders, so you could probably throw Xhaka into that. Ramsdale, again, on the basis of if our first choice keeper isn't fit. I don't know how good Turner is or isn't. I'll give him a chance, but he does look shaky. You could throw Gabriel Jesus, like we kind of alluded to, because if he's not up front, goals are one thing, but the mentality, the leadership, the link-up play, all of these things, Jesus brings that. And obviously you hope he doesn't get a yellow card in the Spurs or Liverpool game, but he has to make it into, I believe, game week 19 to not get a one-match suspension in his next yellow. Obviously, he makes a lot of tactical fouls, so we probably expect Eddie Nketiah to come into the side at some point and him to relax himself. Odegaard, I think people don't give him the credit he deserves off the ball. He's also got leadership qualities. He helps defensively because along with Jesus, he leads the press. In fact, he led the press before Jesus gets there, and he's obviously Arteta's lieutenant as much as Xhaka. Saka, right winger. Left field choice, you could say Gabriel as well, but I would say Tomiyasu. And I know it sounds mad because Tomiyasu's not in the strongest team, but I think people are really forgetting what he gives us defensively, especially in the air and things, and them things there. So you could say that. So when you look at Arsenal's most important player in a nice way, you can't really pick one. If you put a gun to my head, I would probably say it's in no order: Xhaka, Partey, Jesus, pop for me, and then there's Saka though. Then there's Saka, people. I'll probably say Xhaka or Partey because we've already got slim options in midfield. Them man are not there. We're in trouble, really. Jesus, you could say the same, but yeah, I don't really know, man. Man said, can't say Odegaard is not a trench baby. You can, man. Off the ball, I think his leadership skills are underrated. Don't get it twisted. I think Arsenal should have went back to basics. You know, the Xhakas, the Ramsdales, the Toneys, that's sort of the captain ilk. But Odegaard gives us a lot. Even games he's not playing well. Obviously, Odegaard can do a lot more. He's starting to try and add goals and assists. Again, trench baby away from home is what we want to see. But I do think people underestimate the technical IQ, and you know he's basically a coach for Arteta. Same with Xhaka, and I do think people sleep on what Odegaard gives us. You know, again, it sounds cliche, a bit like Ozil, but when you watch the games again, you know, and I do watch the games twice, 3 times, as I tell you, lot, bro. Odegaard gives us a lot. As I said, there's a lot he could do more still. You know, again, Jesus is obvious, Ramsdale's obvious, Xhaka and Partey. If you're watching Arsenal, it's obvious. So it's an interesting one. Big up Stylish. He said, Jesus, Partey, Saliba injuries, and we finished 7th. Super TT's my guy. Shout out Josh. I think Ramsdale, Gabriel, Saliba, Tomiyasu, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus will be selected for the World Cup. Teams haven't qualified yet, so that Smith Rowe's probably not going to go with England. Zinchenko's not going because Ukraine are not there. Obviously, Scotland never got World Cup. Forgive me if I'm wrong. They might have, you know. Toney's not going. Wait, they might have, you know. Did Scotland do it? I might be chatting, but yeah, man. I hope Ramsdale goes. I hope Gabriel goes. I think Saliba will go. Tomiyasu if Japan's there. Xhaka if Switzerland's there. Garner's obviously there. Partey stays fit. You know, I'm a bit nervous that you've gone off for international duty, but yeah. You know, I don't know for Martinelli, though. I think he could do it, but Brazil are blessed with attackers. He's playing well with Drago, Anthony, Cunha. There's bare dons, really. You know, if I had to put money down, I was just trying to say, if I had to put money down, I would say, hey, extend that to Gabriel and, you know, Xhaka and Partey, bit obvious. Obviously, they're going to be there. Man said, throw Saliba in. Let me remove the Google Doc sheet. Throw Saliba in. Thomas Partey, Garner plug. Shout out Charlotte, North Carolina. Come on. Crazy how much we connect with our love of football through all these countries and the internet. In my opinion, Jesus or Saliba, I'm leaning towards Jesus. I'd say Jesus, but Xhaka has been our best player so far. But even on Xhaka's bad days, he gives the team a lot. Whether the team should rely on Xhaka, whether there should be someone better, whether the fact that if Xhaka isn't there, we miss him, or an injury-prone Partey, that's testament to them, but it's probably damning on the club. You know, I do in a nice way. There's several players in it. Probably if you lose Xhaka, you lose what he gives the team in midfield and what he's doing in form right now, but you also lose a lot of leadership qualities, whether people like Xhaka or not. So it's like it could be Xhaka. I don't know, because I think it could be Xhaka. I think it could be Odegaard. I think you could say Jesus. I think obviously Saka isn't slapping bare goals in, but I think people sleep on what Saka gives us as well. Ramsdale gets injured, we're Kalas, and I think he's got leadership qualities. And for me, anyone in the defense gets injured, we're in problems in it, because you need to keep your defense fit. Yes, we've added Ben White's ability to play right back this year. Zinchenko's come in and done his thing, but historically, if Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White, Saliba, Toney, who's probably been in the injury room more than we'd like, if they're injured, we're in problems. So I don't really know. It's a good question. Well, it's a good thought process I was thinking about before I came on live. So I try to diversify the content for you lot. Let's make that a timestamp as well. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I would say our biggest gap is Uncle Partey, Jesus is Arsenal's most important player. Man, just saying Ivan Toney, hold that. Why did Pepe catch a straight from Bruno? I don't know, but if you want to use Pepe as an example, a £72 million man that couldn't get a game ahead of a young Saka, then I don't think that's the territory you want to keep, especially if you want to help United get back to where they need to get back to, I remember Partey scoring against United when we won. Certain man are missing penalties and that. I don't know for them thing there, but it's all calm. All right, Danny, I better see you at 4:30, get back. Big up to everyone that was on my FM stream. We lost the Champions League final, won everything, and the haters came out. Where Xhaka has come from, our player of the season so far, like a new signing. Unpopular opinion, but Xhaka plays like this all the time and has been playing like this. Yes, he's had losses of form. Yes, he's got shortcomings, but he's doing what he's done, especially in this advanced role. He was kind of playing that last season at a point. Xhaka isn't a bad player. It's just, for me, his mistake, the cons that come to his game don't really justify him being a main player like this. For me, it should be, keep Xhaka, rotation option, get someone that does it better, but we're not doing that right now. So, yeah, it is what it is. As I always say, Xhaka isn't as good as the Xhaka sexuals make out. He's definitely not as bad as some of the scapegoaters make out. It's somewhere in the middle, in my humble opinion. So, Yeah, man. Right now, I'd probably say Xhaka. Xhaka's not there. Again, for me, forget how Xhaka's playing. It's the leadership qualities, man. Partey, Xhaka, bit different because I wouldn't say El Nene is an important player, but El Nene, what we're getting out of these 29-year-olds, we need to get a bit more because they're helping to set up the future. Obviously, in 3 years, they could still be at Arsenal, still play at a top level, but in 3 years, Saka's not even 25. You know, Partey, Xhaka, them man are 32, 33. My maths is terrible. It's something like that. And we need to move away. Cedric, part of the furniture, nice finessing. On my life, I forgot Cedric was an Arsenal player. And respectfully to you, Cedric, I hope it remains the same. Cause ain't no one trying to see that on the football field. If we're trying to do anything this season, you can't help us. You can help us in training, pushing people. You know, experienced guy, lived in London, been, you know, won the Euros with Portugal and ish like that. You've got a lot of experience that you can give the team and tips and pointers, and he's doing his coaching badges and things. Portuguese speaker, you can help the young bulls settle in and that. And especially even we've signed a couple Brazilian ladies, I believe. You can, you know, the Portuguese speakers can do their thing. But on the football field, it's a myth. Cedric's thing should be Arsenal in the community. You're going to, you know, fundraisers. You're going to schools. You're doing all of them things. Like on the football field, if I see Cedric wearing problems, respectfully, Cedric, I'll root for you all the way. But respectfully, you know, you're meaty. You're not good. You're respectfully, you're not good. This season, Jesus, Xhaka, Saliba. If Arsenal beat Watford right now, we'd be talking about cojones. Of course, these men are cringy. It's annoying, but whatever, as long as we win. It is where it is, man. If you give it out, you got to take it, man. Then again, we say Cedric stealing a living, you know. He's not really, is he? Like, no one put a gun to Arsenal's head to sign him or give him a deal. Cedric is strictly for motivation and showing face purposes and photo bombing. You know, how he finds himself in elite positions for pictures. I just wish his positioning defensively was as good. Do you think if we sign Telemans, do we drop Xhaka on the bench because he's a better defender and best for of his career? I don't know. If Telemans comes in, I do think there's a reality where Telemans could play with Partey. I do think because of Partey's injury record, you'd probably see Xhaka and Telemans deployed. I think Telemans would more play it different, but it's more a long-term sort of air sort of thing to that Xhaka sort of 8 role. I don't think he'll necessarily display Xhaka as in Arteta's eyes. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm taking Telemans. I think he's got a lot of qualities. But I do think Arsenal fans are a bit overrating him now. He's not going to come and really take off. He can grow and develop and things, but I don't think he's instantly going to raise the curtain of midfield, which is easier said than done. I don't think there's a whole list of midfielders that can do that. I can't sit here and reel off their names, but yeah, I'm taking for the squad and what he could develop and stuff. But yeah, man. I'd only say Partey because there's no cover. If there was cover in every position, it would still be a midfielder. I hear that. The fact Saka hasn't been at his best and has 4 assists and 1 goal in 7 games shows his levels. Tell him again, Danny. As soon as he hits form and his partnership grows with White, in brackets, he needs to overlap more. We're cooking. One problem was versus Brentford is 2-3 times I saw Saka on his own on the right, and there was 3 or 4 Brentford players around him. No help from Fabio White at all. To be fair, they did link up with him, but to a degree, Saka's got to learn to deal with that. You know, the markman is always, you know, when you become a marksman in the league, we can't expect teams to not mark the hell out of you. You know, obviously it's easier said than done. But Salah, Son, all them dons at City, you know, St. Maximin at Newcastle, Zaha obviously at Palace, all of these, man, when they get the ball and they look up, there's 3-4 players around them. You know, man, don't let Neymar do all them skills by you know, for the sake of it. You have to earn the right, and it's testament to him. We do need to help Saka mitigate against that. I do think if we had a more forward thinking right back, obviously it presents a lot of space. But yeah, man, Telemans is holding bench, can't lie, I like him. Cedric, celebration merchant, but he did come in and do a job when Tommy got injured. You know, bro, El Nene, Holding, Cedric, Tavares, they all played their little part in our top 4 race. But the problem is, you can get away with that 2-3 games. When you're relying on them in the tail end of the season, then there's going to be normality of performance. And obviously, we praise and critique, but it's got to the point with certain players in this team, there's no point me getting at you because we know you're not good enough. Like, you're going to try your best. No one's going to try make mistakes on purpose, but you know you're not good enough. You have to look at the technical recruitment because we should have never been in a situation last year. Respectfully, El Nene did his thing, but we shouldn't have been relying on a purple patch from El Nene, Tavares, Cedric, and big up Eddie and Ketia. He took his chance, but we shouldn't have been relying on that really. And Eddie's chance only came because Laka showed he was too meaty. Laka got his chance because Aubameyang, you know, his form weren't there. Him and Arteta had a bust up really. So you can utilize these players, but it's probably fantasy, really. We need to sign Mudryk. Well, I hope so. He weren't good enough for Southampton. To be fair, Cedric's had a decent career. Arsenal, Inter Milan, Southampton, played for Portugal. Cedric can play in the Europa League group stage and cat. Yeah, but bro, you know what? We're gonna need everybody because we've got bare games this month. We've got to play we got to play PSV twice. I could be wrong. I'm sure we've got to play Glimt twice. We definitely have to play Spurs and Liverpool. It's a massive month. Massive month. Well, you know what I mean. By the time we play in the Premier League, it'll be October the 1st, and it's right now it's September. You know, we won the league in August. We won the league in September. It's kind of wavy. I could get used to this, people. Can we just end the league now? We won it in July and anything in the off season because our name's at the top of the tree, you know, before we've even kicked the ball. But yeah, testament to Saka. He'll do his thing. Haaland, demons. When you're the only right back at the club and 2 centre-backs are ahead of you for your position, it's long. Amen. Saka needs right foot finishing for the next month. Saka don't hit the byline enough to learn. Sorry, Saka don't hit the byline enough. Needs to learn to beat his man more instead of always cutting in. To be fair, that's true. But we have to give all these players. We don't know what Arteta is telling you to do. And I do agree with you. You know, he had a good little battle in the defeat against Malanza, but if you play devil's advocate, obviously I would like him to hold the width a bit more. But you know, we're Arsenal. He wants to play. Everybody wants to play neat little 1-2s and things like that. And when you look at the modern day strikers, they're not the most productive wingers or the dangerous ones. They're not wingers like that. They're inside forwards. Salah's game got better. Even when he signed for Liverpool, spoke on how Klopp told him, "Listen, you got to get closer to goal." Raheem Sterling, you know, does he necessarily play any different to when he wasn't necessarily prolific? Yes and no, but he's more narrow. Son had a slow start to his Spurs career. He got going. You look at the positions he takes up, really and truly. Long gone are them days, really, and I won it, but long gone are them days that got the wingers that are gonna get chalk on their boots and just rip man consistently. And the ones that do that in these leagues, top 5 leagues consistently, they're not necessarily the most productive in terms of goals and assists. But obviously, Saka's still young. There's many things he can improve. For me, your finishing undoubtedly can improve, but it's Saka FC in it. Simple. You can do no wrong, Timmy. Shout out Roger, big up DG, been supporting the team. Keep spitting facts and thump up the like button, people. Come on, my guy. But you know these left footers, they're just all these guys that look at me. I'm left footed. I don't want to use my right. Odegaard ain't trying to use that. Saka ain't trying to use that. Gabriel don't want to use that. Toney don't want to use that. Zinchenko don't want to use that. You know, Mahrez at City don't want to use that. Pepe never want to use that. You know, Xhaka don't want to use that. You know how these left foot man are. Look at me. I'm left footed. I'm not the same as you lot. Big up the left footers. But yeah, and then I might even we're getting a lot of left footers. I can't even remember. There might even be somebody else that I didn't even say there, really. Who knows? When Arsenal win, I just hear salty rivals saying, wait until you play XYZ, then we'll see what happened to well played. Bro, everyone's going to say that, innit? You know, everybody's going to say that, you know, again, because Arsenal are winning. And I didn't even want to speak on this really because it's jarring. But, you know, I'm seeing on all these platforms, Arsenal are being criticized for giving young Ethan a little debut. People are saying, oh, there must be 20-year-olds and all these things that could get in the team. And you might be right. Matt Smith, spare a foot for Matt Smith. He's been holding bench. You know, that probably tells you your thing is not gonna pop at Arsenal. You know, he can use who he wants. He can use who he wants. I don't think there was this criticism when Fulham gave Harvey Elliott a chance. Let's be real. Ethan's a 15-year-old lad turning 16. He has not officially signed his scholar. He's someone that's, I know you've got Fabrizio and Rio Ferdinand. They're comparing man to Phil Foden and doing all these things. I hope he can, but how that helps, how man are drawing these conclusions for the vast majority of football fans on 30 seconds or something in a game is ridiculous. It's not going to help Ethan. Let the man develop. For every James Milner and these guys that have made their debuts young and things, you've got Matthew Briggs, you've got James Vaughan. Let the man develop. A career is never that. You know, it doesn't help anyone. You know, he's someone that's wanted by, you know, he's played for England at Arsenal. Obviously the footballing world is going to be interested, especially, and we do the same with others. Obviously City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, all these guys are going to want to have a bit of him, really and truly. Just like when we lost Yunus Musa, we was playing him as a schoolboy for under 18s. Valencia gave him a project. Every club is going to lose players. Musiala dipped out from Chelsea because there's a project. You know, clearly, is it naive to expect man are showing young Ethan and his dad or whoever and his family that there's a pathway at this football club? You're not going to play every week, but you're involved. You know, City and Chelsea could offer you a lot, but we're not going to do what they're doing. We can offer you a pathway. If he's on the bench and he feels like he can make it, he might be, you know, committed to signing a scholar / a pro deal. You know, we're being criticized for not playing younger players. You know how there's no point listening to the noise. You know, they're always going to talk crap about Arsenal. Our time is going to come where we have shaky performances, but they can't really do that. So they're going to criticize what Mikel is doing and whatnot. You know, we've got the youngest squad in the league, you know, and I'm not even saying that to say anything. We've got the youngest squad in the league. We're doing this youth thing. Arsenal has always been a club that's always produced young players. R.I.P. Rocastle. Shout out Toney Adams and things. Cesc Fabregas came via La Masia, but you saw what happened. Gnabry didn't work out. You saw what happened. Bellerin, you saw what happened. Saka, Smith Rowe, you see what happens. We boss young players / academy players. So of course, a 15-year-old, if you're good enough, you're old enough, there's gonna be a pathway. As I said, I think he was on the bench. I think he was involved purely because it's a bit of game playing to convince his advisors, yo, this is the place you're gonna be. And if I was his advisors, I'd run it as long as I can because it helps them. You know, it makes Arsenal a bit nervous and things. You know, don't listen to these guys and things like that. And until in society we learn and football, when these lot, because these lot, let's be real, I would say when it comes to Arsenal, and I'd say Man United, the internet people, the talk shats, the Sky Sports, all of these football dailies, all these people, they know how to route their net. They know if they certain things we're going to react until, like football in society, until we learn to air people and stuff, it's dead. You know, engagement. This is all these lot want. They don't even care about what they're saying. I've been in some of these scenarios. There's certain content creators that they say one thing off the camera and they literally say when the camera goes on, I'm going to say this. They just care about engagement. Engagement is the new drug. It doesn't matter if it's these big platforms, Piers Morgan, Gary Neville is the biggest example in my opinion. A lot of people just feel it's a drug, man. If we don't give them the clicks, you don't pay their bills, they're stressed. But until in society we learn to ignore what needs to be ignored, we're not going to get anywhere. But yeah, it's not going to help Ethan. Everyone and their nan saying all folding level and things. He's a talented boy, very talented young man, better yet. Your application, your consistency, your desire, all these things will take you to the next level. And that goes for a lot of players. As I always say, Ethan, Miles over there in the under-18s, Koza Dewberry, who may have been on the Arsenal bench if he wasn't away with England when we played Brentford. Them three in particular, and there's more, but them three, I don't know if you're going to, you know, get 100 appearances like Eddie Goldaway, like Saka, even do a little Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe, Maitland-Niles thing, but I think they've got the raw components that if they work really hard, they could one day be Arsenal official first team players. Don't know what man are talking about, really and truly. So we just need to air these things. You know, for Ethan, he's got to learn now because overnight, listen, those who know about him. He didn't just rock up. Everyone's known that he's a baller, innit? But the wider footballing world, the same people gassing him are going to be the same people that tear my man to shreds when he flops. So he's in an uncharted scenario. He's probably gone to school feeling like the guy. His social media handles probably through the roof. You know, there's probably a lot of attention. And this is a lot for a young man that's just played football. As well as being a footballer, you've got to become a social media don. You've got to learn how to answer questions. We all know there's no breathing room. So credit to Ethan and anyone else who gets opportunities, really. And you want to see that. So I don't know what they're on, really. You know, Jack Wilshere bust through at 16, but it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So let's just let him do his thing, man. But ignore these silly platforms, people, man. They're just chatting. They're just chatting. 60 likes. Can we get 40 more to get 100? That's our target, people. Come on, people. Let's move it. What else are you lot saying? So yeah, man. Obviously, we failed against United. There were some positives. Ultimately, we failed, but that's always gonna happen. You know, I'm guilty of it as well. I was shook of Brentford because obviously Brentford have been doing good things. Same with Palace. Now we did our job. Hindsight, we made them look rubbed. Hopefully, the same can be said for Liverpool and Spurs. But we have to see, man. Always room for improvement, and that for me, that's testament to Saka. If you know you're still putting up numbers in terms of goals and assists, even last season there was chances you should have scored. Him, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. They're not goal scorers yet. They're learning how to. In my opinion, a goal scorers that is someone that's done it for years. Them man ain't done it for years. Smith Rowe and Saka, that's the best in terms of goals and assists. That's the best seasons they've had. They've got to do that again. Martinelli, they say Martinelli's he started well, but he ain't had a productive season in terms of goals and assists like them, man. And for as good as Martinelli's been this season, there was a chance in the last game he should have bagged. There was a chance against Southampton. Him and Saka away from home should have bagged. If we remember the City game, he slightly missed the open goal. I'm not going to do Martinelli dirty. You know, the ref was in the way. Someone put a laser in his eyes, but they're still learning. And it is what it is. And for me, that's testament to Saka. He's got big expectations. So, yeah, man, let's see. Let the young G's do their thing, man. It is what it is. I mean, we should have just kept quiet, but the amount of banter we've received is now time for a get back. Bro, don't give it, you know, if you can't take it, innit? Odegaard taking notes from Fabio. It's a gunman thing. Deluded. Do you know how good it is to have a midfielder who wants to shoot from outside the box, man, like Vieira? Amen. Amen. I forgot about Fabio Vieira as well. Next left-footed man. Man said left foot, man. That's their whole personality. Yeah, like them brothers who are 6 foot. Look at me, I'm 6 foot. Odegaard starts versus Spurs for me 100%. We need to be careful on the ball and try and keep it better than we did versus United and make sure they don't have the ability to transition quickly and break on us. Odegaard will keep the ball a lot better. With Vieira, I see him as more of a risk player. I can't lie. I think he plays quite similar. I'm just going with Odegaard because I don't think Fabio Vieira deserves to be dropped. I think if he starts, I've got no complaints. But the man them are arriving now, you know. Obviously, Xhaka is there. Partey is fit. Odegaard's the captain and that. You play. That's our first choice pivot. For a trio in midfield, better yet. Odegaard helps with the press. We need to be spot on off the ball. Odegaard, you see the metrics, you know, he runs a lot. Jesus, you know, Odegaard was the guy leading the press. Jesus taking the limelight, but that's what you need. Odegaard's connection with the right-hand side with Saka and things like that as well. Fabio Vieira, in the absence of Odegaard and Smith Rowe, he's shown he can do a thing. And also, good players can always play with good players. He can work in tandem with them as well. But, yeah, man, I would go towards that. Frankfurt fans telling me Limstrong is a Muller regen. I mean, we saw him in the Europa League last year. He looks, you know, cute on the ball, very neat touches. I'm not really wild like that, but if he's got potential to grow and do his thing, why not? And Odegaard loves them. Bro, forget all them man there. Them man are engagement dons, bro. And Jason Cunty is a Chelsea fan, bro. Why am I taking in what them man say? You know? Talk shit's no different from some fan channels that engage in clicks. You mention Arsenal, you get clicks. You mention United second after Arsenal, you get clicks because them two fan bases bite the bullet every time. Toney should have kept his mouth shut in the first place. He's gonna have every victory we have over him rubbed in his face now. He's doing it. And that's it. And that's cool. You know, when we get rubbed out versus Brentford, he can do his chattings. I like this stuff. It's all banter, man. A man said, this is the same youth that said F his club for one media gal. Exactly. We need to ignore the media. It's either Arteta doesn't give Haaland a chance or he shouldn't be playing the kids. He can't win. And that's why I always say, for Arsenal, Arteta, the technical staff, everyone involved, they just not need to listen. You know, just these lot chat. They don't even believe what they're saying, bro. Them man have to get, they're like me. I have to get creative because there's no, you know, it's international break. There's not really that much news. Them man have to get creative. You know, there's big budgets. People need to get paid. They need engagements. They're probably paying man mad salaries. Basil and all them duds there. They have to get creative. They can't draw out Arsenal because we're doing all right. So they have to criticize. Oh, why is a 15-year-old playing when there's 20-year-olds? Danny Murphy, name one 20-year-old at Arsenal and I'll shut my mouth. Name one. Name one guy that is not in the first team like that. Name one. He can't name one. My man don't know what he's talking about. You know, he's just chatting shit. You know, there's no need for him. He's not getting his match of the day appearance piece because them man there's no football. They have to chat crap. They don't believe half the things they're saying. So forget them. But fans won't do this. Neville's just Piers Morgan in footballing terms, man. Happy for the debut for the kid, but like you mentioned, it's probably the latter. Club must be a talent for the club to throw him on as a sub. Who cares what anyone else thinks? I try to stay grounded and nothing anyone in the media says is grounded. Totally reactionary. That's why I rock with you, DG. You keep it a stack. I appreciate that, man. Do shout the YouTube members, them. Big up yourself, T. Smith Rowe lit. Things happen, but we're on top of the league going into these big fixtures. Start of the season, you tell me I get 6 out of 7 wins before the test. I'm happy. Tell him again. If Jesus gets a yellow versus Spurs, it's Eddie versus Liverpool. It is what it is, but injuries, suspensions, loss of form, different change in dynamic. We know what time it is really. Obviously, when you look at the statistics, Jesus is being judged a lot more harsher than he was at City for the conspiracy Arsenal fans, but we're going to have to deal with it. You know, I think he's going to get booked at Spurs and Liverpool because he's going to have to make them tactical fouls. But by God's grace, he doesn't get a yellow against Spurs. He doesn't get one against Liverpool. Whoever's after that, we just accept that in it. Like I said, there's been 6 or 7 games. Allegedly, he needs to make it to game week 19 before, obviously, I think that it gets wiped and the threshold changes from 5 games to 10. It's probably unrealistic to expect him to make it to game week 19. So on one hand, the quicker it's done off, the better. But yeah, man. Question: when Zinchenko is back, where do you slot him? Toney is getting better every game, and again, it's a question for Arteta. He plays left back or centre mid with Partey and Xhaka are fit. I don't, and them man there, Fabio Vieira and things. I don't know, but things could change. You know, I really don't know. Against Spurs, I'm probably leaning towards Toney. Liverpool, I'm probably at Anfield, probably towards Toney. But this is what we need. We need options. You know, in one day, you know, in the future, you hope it's a thing where dream world, and you can't have two sick keepers. But just as an example, maybe it's not that easy to pick Ramsdale. Maybe, you know, there's a next right back that complicates Tomiyasu and Ben White. Another one, Tomiyasu's been done dirty, really. But this is what we needed in midfield. Maybe Xhaka and Partey. If you're fit or playing well, it's irrelevant. There's problems. You know, I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans, we hope there's a winger that can come in and give Saka some issues. You know, hopefully Eddie or a next striker can keep pushing Jesus so that there's more issues. And that's only going to benefit the club. You know, I think players recognize this. You can't be competitive. You know, there's a couple of exceptions. You can't be competitive and not have a stronger squad. If you want to join a strong team or be a strong team, then competition comes with it. And your ego needs to be left at the door. Some guys will play now. Some guys will play more than others. If you want to play, make sure the manager can't drop you. Saka can't be dropped. Xhaka can't be dropped. You know, them two are the heartbeats of this team beyond everyone. Partey fit, Partey plays. Make sure the manager's got no reason to drop you. Ben White's doing his thing. I'm sure, obviously, Ben White's form is helping us because we can gradually bring back Tomiyasu and that, but make sure Arteta is not able to drop you. Fabio Vieira, he might hold the drop in, but he's done his job. Agreed. I see players say what they really think. Yeah, big up you, Danny, because we did watch the Haaland. Do you think Ethan will start versus Boulder in the Europa League? No, but you hope him, so the youth them on the bench and they can get opportunities. Because for me, for Ethan, he's lived the dream, innit? Obviously, he's not really lived the dream, but bro, a lot of us here will give a lot just to play, just to come on in a Premier League game. He's come through the academy, still hope he signs his scholars in that, but he's come through the academy. He's been on the bench with all of these international stars and he's won. That's what man are living for. They're the small victories. It's possible. It's attainable, really and truly. It's shown that if you work hard, it can happen for you, whether at Arsenal or elsewhere. So go back, keep working, and that goes for all of them, really. I want them all to get their debuts and get their little minutes and all them things. That's what we're about. Let the kid have his time in the sun and enjoy being a huge don at school. Amen. Toney just shouting for help outside the box. Benny put it on him. Toney needs to worry about Brentford finishing top 10. Appreciate that. DG keeping it real as always. Wait. You tuning in for this Mudrik cooking of Toney tonight, DG? Less that. Nah, man. Ukraine versus Scotland. It's not watch along settings. How many points do you want of the next 3 games? I mean, I would take a draw against Liverpool and Spurs, live to fight another day, but, you know, I want to win them. Admittedly, I don't know who's after that. Something tells me it's Southampton. Let me actually check. Obviously, you want maximum points the way we're playing. Who have we? Oh, we bust case. Ooh, Leeds, Liverpool. Leeds away, Liverpool and Spurs is our October fixtures. It's Southampton as well. So big game, big games. No, Nottingham Forest as well. But you said let's 3. Ideally 9. Hopefully 7. So if Liverpool are still doing this, there's probably been never a better time to play Liverpool. Of course, I want 6 points from both. Ideally 9 to 7. 5 points a decent return. You know, again, I want to do better against the top 6 and things like that and start chucking it to them. But a draw against Spurs isn't necessarily the worst, and you can't win every week. A draw against Liverpool isn't necessarily the worst. So hopefully that answers your question, my bro. Hey, this is the iPhone, but Eddie is a calm Samson. Gel mash. Tottenham, Liverpool, City, honestly, the other top 3 or 4 right here. Again, it's open season. City are going to be there. You know, Liverpool could put a run of form together. United have got their act together, but United, Arsenal, Spurs, you know, Liverpool, I'd describe Chelsea, I'd describe their situations as volatile. It's open season. Obviously, some guys are going to put form together. Fighting for 3rd and 4th essentially is a battle of inconsistency because you haven't shown consistency enough to go and do better things. So the more we can take maximum points, and we're going to have our times where we're dropping points, but it's all about the floor you fall on. Liverpool's a home game. So yeah, we need to. I'll snap your arm for 7 minutes on the big screen. I hear that. Bring up the Americans. Yeah, you are just at least you're an honest hater. I'm really hoping that Arteta shows more maturity this time around versus Conte and don't have the Italian play mind games with him. Amen. If FM settings today, you failed last night. Let's see what you got. We should beat Liverpool. I don't know about that because our record is terrible. What I would say, you can't look at form, you can't look at injuries, and a lot can change from now until the 9th of October. But based on how Liverpool are moving, there's never been a better time. And to be honest with you, pardon my language, fuck all of that. Fuck the form, fuck what they're doing. you know, there's many things as to why our season failed last season, and there's many things we need to improve. One key thing we need to do if we want to be a top 4 team and doing these things, we need to be going into these top 6 games home and away and have genuine belief that we can win, not necessarily blind optimism or an element of surprise, or we've lost a game, but there's some positives. We need to be able to go into these games and say, yo, we can give Spurs, City, Liverpool. Obviously, we do our thing against Chelsea. We need to be going in that. And last season, we did beat Man United, Spurs, and Chelsea, but they also claimed wins of us, so we could do it. But our record against the top 6 generally, going back to the latter days of Wenger and Emre, and by default with Arteta, is terrible. You buck us in the FA Cup, it's a different thing, but it's terrible, and it needs to be better. Yeah, Everton's postponed still. Top 6 coming up. 3 versus Spurs, 1 versus Liverpool. I'm calm. I hear that. Blessings, the Spuds will be mashed by the Super Gs. I hope so. But top 6 being top 6 seems almost certain. I like Brighton and Newcastle, but there's a gap between the top 6 teams. I mean, it started off as a top 4, top 6. Soon in the Premier, it's going to be top 10. And, you know, we're going to get into reality maybe 10, 15 years from now. Everyone can win the league. Everyone can get relegated. Competition breeds innovation, man. Big up my dude as well in the cut. Free hit hype, F that. We need to win these games. We need to keep this form also with Locatelli. I'm not sure about anyone. Juventus are in the mud right now. Gooner till I died this year. This is our year to rise. I hope so, man. I hope so. I really do. I really do hope so. I really do, man. But we're going to have to see, really. And again, especially at away form needs to improve. But at home, I'm not going to lie. The atmosphere is good. The fans, them are making noise. The players are doing their thing. Make Emirates a fortress, man. Emirates isn't a difficult place to go to. Obviously, you know, again, some of these things are not the same. But when I think of difficult grounds to go to, I'm scared of I don't want to go Selhurst Park. As an Arsenal fan, I don't want to go St. Mary's. I don't want to go Brighton. I don't necessarily want to go Stamford Bridge. You know, United are not what they used to be. But where Arsenal's concerned, Old Trafford's not an easy game. Man need to see the Emirates and get shook. Because, you know, how many games did Ferguson's teams that won the leagues, Jose's teams that won the league, Arsenal teams that won the league, how many games won in the tunnel? How many players shitted their nappies when they heard the fans then making bare noise and they look at our team and see 5'8" technical ballers, or, you know, guys like Vieira and Reed that are 6' plus, but the technical elegance and the aggression. How much games must have been won there? We need to pattern that up, man. I mean, we went over Xhaka's tribal player tribute thing before, and big up Granite. But I mean, we've heard the story. You know, you and the fans had beef. Arteta convinced you to stay. But man's tired of listening to that movie now. Big up Xhaka doing your thing, but like, bro, like, keep hearing the same thing now. Like, is where it is. Certain teams is brazy. I hope Graham Potter starts playing like Harry Potter, but he say. Of course, man, don't want to come south. Look at these South London. There's always nothing good comes out of South London, though. Paul have 100 million Nunes up front. How can we compete free hit? I like the agenda. Locatelli can come true. You know they're capping with us, though, man. You know we're not getting Locatelli. Anything that comes out them Italian things, I start looking at it like you man are booked. Because I know that you're pulling us on. We've seen it with Locatelli when Xhaka was going where he's going, Vlahovic. I know there's other names, but you lot that follow me, transfer window, we go for it all, and ultimately nothing happens, really. Hey, Darks, appreciate you for resubscribing with Amazon Prime and the fact that you've been subscribing for 5 months. If you're on Twitch, do that at no extra cost. Big up DG, only place I need to be to get the lowdown for the club we all love. Keep doing your thing, bro. Road to 100K. Appreciate that. We need to get to 50 first, and then I'd say road to 50 again, because we have to reset it like we didn't do anything. So, yeah, man, I hear you lot. Emirates needs to be a fortress. Teams need to fear playing us at home. That's what Champions caliber team has. Edu has no standing in Italy. Ian Wright's come out of South London. My guy put respect on South London. I mean, if I respect South, big up the South Tugs. I'm always there. You know my team. Shout out to Gally. Oh, you get it. Talking mad. But shout out you lot. But if South London was so good, why the hell did Arsenal move from round them sides and come over here? You know, North London's the in thing, man. Is well it is. Skepta's better than Giggs. Big up Skeppy, but I think Giggs is better. But after it's a North thing, man. South London is a hype job. You know, it's a hype job. It's a hype job. DG, do you think the best team, the best coach, or the best players will make the difference in a tight league? All of it will, bro. You've answered your own question. All of that will make the difference. But also, you need a lot of luck. You probably need to be favourable with injuries. And when you look at any team that's won the champs or like I look, go and watch Chelsea Di Matteo stage when they won the champs. Go and look at Arsenal. Go and look at any team. There's been times, moments where games could have went left. The trajectory of history could have went left, but certain players, whether they turned the game around like with Henry or certain things. So you need that bit of luck, but luck comes when you do your thing. Knowing what Woolwich is today, understand why we left. Smith Rowe from South as well. But hey, I can't wait till a real North London one comes out of Hayland. Even Hayland is in Stowe, man. Where the youths born in Finsbury Park, Edmonton, Tottenham, take a 2-2. At this point, I'll take a 2-2 Wolverhampton Cross, man. You know, it's all east and south and that. Big them all up. But yeah, man, keep scouting the South Dons and that. But yeah, South only. For what, bro? Brixton Splash used to be lit back in the day. But yeah, man. Kula weren't looking great, Juventus, but Italians never come prem. I think he's Swedish still. I mean, I wanted him and Bentacle at Arsenal. It's cool. It is what it is. But yeah, man. Our loss is dead man's gain, really. So we're going to have to deal with it. Where's that comment gone? Forget the Super League. The Prem is so rich with so much clout. I do think you'll see a Super League because I think you're overstating greed, bro. The riches of the Premier League is vast. But, you know, these man just see money, bro. You know, just because they made $1 billion, they want the next billion. So there will be a mad league. One day we're going to see a mad Premier League where North London derbies being played in Dubai or Egypt or America, respectfully, you know, bring the game everywhere. But they're not bringing the game because they know that fans love the game and they want to bring it over there. They just care about peas. We're going to see a Super League. We're going to see some mess Champions League. We're going to see a Super League for the top teams. You know, it's peas, bro, especially for them foreign teams. If you're Madrid and Barca, if you lot get back to what you had when obviously they need the players, but Messi and Ronaldo, they're gonna want that really. That's why La Liga stress. You ain't obviously they've got ballers, but you ain't really got them sort of guys that, you know. Do you know how many people probably watch La Liga games, all of Madrid or all of Barca or the El Clasicos just for them, man? They ain't got that. You know, Prem's getting richer. You know, it's not even just the top six because we're almost in our own sort of world. Look at the teams below them. Look at what West Ham can't even buy a win. Look what they've been doing. Everton been shit for years. Respectfully, big up Everton fans. Look at the money they spent. Other leagues can't do that. And that's why I don't think I'm going left with it. But that's why I actually don't think they want to pattern off refs because away from players and all these things, I think the footballing gods and the people that move this Premier League, I don't think they want to improve refs because they know all these platforms, Arsenal, we're all going to be waffling and debating decisions and inconsistencies. I think they like that because it adds to the entertainment package of what the Prem is about, really. So, yeah, man, great questions. You lot are in top form, man. One love to you lot. Keep it coming. DG, what are your honest thoughts on Núñez? He might be a dud. I like him. I think he'll come good, but he's looking a bit bandulu, and it's about time Liverpool signed the player, and he looked a bit shaky. You know, Luis Diaz, Salah, Mane, there other guys, Thiago. It's like everyone with Liverpool for a couple minutes and for a couple seconds. You know, everyone seems to just. It's like they've always been there. They're due a player to stink up the place. Yeah, I did hear, but this is what I'm saying. Forget them. You know, and he isn't wrong necessarily with what he's saying, but tell Danny Murphy, rise up these 17, 18-year-olds that need to play. You know. I'm sure Arsenal had their reasons. Obviously, there's, for me anyways, with Ethan, away from the ability and Arteta being convinced and all of these things, there's clearly a bit of politics at play with that. Clearly, a bit like when Harvey Elliott bust you at Fulham. You know, they tried to keep my man for years. Shout out Classified G. What do you think about Ethan's debut? I mean, as I said, I think it should encourage him, but at the end of the day, it's up to him, really. Because once you sign that, you signed that shit in it. Like, no one cares now. Keep working hard. Arsenal and any other club that wants to keep someone, they're going to think about it logically. If you're Arsenal and you want to keep Ethan, whether he's going to develop to be the player that all of these guys are saying, you know, which I think he has got quality, but allow him a bit, you know, or not, you tie him down, you're going to make money or have a first team player, you're going to tell man everything under the sun. How many times have we seen this at Arsenal and all these clubs? And I don't blame the club, but for him and his advisors and and things, they need to make the right decision. If Arsenal's the best place, cool. If them other clubs are the best place, cool, you know. And if I was them, I would run it as long as I can. I wouldn't sign it tomorrow. I'd keep it going until the season's done, you know, keep Arsenal on their toes. Yeah, Serie A looks mad. Juventus rubbing out. I mean, he could, bro, Ethan, he could be anything. He could be a 10, he could be a centre mid. Obviously, he's youthful. He's shown he can play out wide and up front. I think he'll end up as a centre mid, like playing centrally, because I just think he's got them qualities. But honestly, I've seen him play up front and do bits, man. You know, he last season against Reading, the other day against, well, he had a bit of a poor game against Blackpool's under-21s when he came on. But yeah, he's been decent. And, you know, when he goes back to play for the youth, he's got Jack Wilshere to learn from. And that could be something that helps, because when you look at it, everything that our footballing forefathers have said, you know, Arsene Wenger, the latest one, look at what he added. Hayland is breathing. It's alive with talent. We can't even keep certain man, you know. We've got a Hayland guy managing our under-18s, a former guy, the head of academy. You've obviously got Arteta and they're doing positions. You've got Ethan on the bench. He looks around himself. He's got other young players. You know, it's easy to forget Saka's a big dog in this team, but he's young himself. So, you know, what Arsenal could give you is probably a better pathway than City and Chelsea, because we've got less resources. But City and Chelsea, especially City, is the chance to maybe train with Pep Guardiola, be around some top quality coaches and things, learn what you learn. And then you might even forget Chelsea, you know, City, and just bust out and go somewhere else. You got to do whatever you can. Yeah, 100 million for Núñez looks crazy. Balogun is a prime example. We sold him a dream again, but the hustle is sold separately. You know, Balogun is not ready. Wasn't ready right now. He didn't look that lit at Middlesbrough. He looked out of it. Obviously, when he was starting against Brentford and that, he was out of his depth. But people need to learn. People, I think, really underestimate how difficult the jump from under 23s to the first team is. And that's where Arsenal need to get better, really. You can see Balogun's learned from the experiences at Middlesbrough, and he didn't score last game for Reims, but he's put him in better stead. Obviously, Smith-Rowe had injuries, but I'm sure he learned a lot at Leipzig that helped him over there at Huddersfield and things of that nature. When I saw it, I thought it was cringy, but if that's what these men be doing to keep banging teams on a retaliation thing and getting better, then is what it is. It's banter. It's not that deep, man. You know, it's not that deep. You win, you chat shit, you lose, you chat shit. Life goes on, man. You know, I do think personality is being phased. Obviously, personality in British society, where it comes to certain individuals, you're never going to have it, you know. But there's a bit of what you can see what it means to players, you know. Again, I don't watch NBA all the time, but it seems like them NBA, man, they say things how they want. Let these look, whatever gets these man fired up, you know, do what you're doing. Same with other clubs, you know. When we lose, you know, Spurs have probably got their memes all highlighted. And don't worry, I've got some things in the docs already ready in the drafts, ready for them Spurs guys. But yeah, man. Man, I wanted to feature as many times as he could, man. Amari Hutchinson, he's currently at Chelsea, man. He's still there. Scored a banging free kick the other day. Them other leagues are salty. They're not liking having low spending. Imagine Barca complaining about spending when they don't filter money down La Liga. I honestly believe if you replace the bottom five with Madrid, Barca, PSG, Juventus, and Bayern, that would be a better Super League. Yeah, but I hear you, but that's a bit elitist, man. Like, you can't just be removing people, if that makes sense. You know, the Super League is coming. They tried. Listen, they tried. Fans got vexed. You know, and in society, anything that threatens to change the fabric of things, especially something like football, is crazy. You think when they tried to bring the first mobile phone, people say, oh, we need phones. They're like, well, what are you doing? We don't need phones. There's a phone box. Or the first car. We don't need a car. What the hell is that? It's not going to work. I got a horse. You know, it's a bit like the Super League thing. You know, they were gauged. I personally feel they were, if the reaction, not from Gary Neville and that, because they were just vexed they were going to miss out on the bag. But if the reaction to the fans was better, they would have ran that. And, you know, they probably gauged the sentiment, saw what was liked and what wasn't liked, saw what everyone had to say, and that one day is going back in the pipeworks, and they're gonna dot I's and cross T's and iron out certain things. That's coming, bro. Bro, these lot are money men, you know. Football isn't football. We love football. Football's not football again. Like, these lot don't love football as much as we do, you know. At all these levels, it's crazy. The higher ups get their way eventually in society. There you have it. Super League or Champions League changes will come. Super League, bro, it's happening. It's happening. Peeps forget that when you're training for anything, as soon as you're doing the real thing, it'll be difficult. Got to have experience that will help you going forward. Crazy. I honestly believe Arteta loves football. I'm talking about the owners and the people. Arteta, the coaches and the players, in the grand scheme of things, that's why I think they deserve they're pawns. They're just pawns in the game. They're not deciding these things. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the fat cat rich dons that you don't see when you watch a Champions League final and it pans to the, you know, the nice little boxes and you see obviously the owners and then you see bare unknown dons and their wives in suits and things like that. It's them lot who control the game, bro. Arteta, the players, and all these companies that are pennies. If players had their way, do you think we're playing all these pointless internationals? Do you think there's talk of this all-star game? Do you think in games are being played all over? They're not the guys, bro. They're not the guys who make this. And this is why I think footballers deserve, you know, there's obviously money too. Maybe there's too much money in football, you know. But, you know, do you think Ozil was getting 300 grand a week if Arsenal are not making mad cake off his image rights or whatever? Obviously, footballers are the ones we see all the time, so it's easy to get at them, but it's the fat cats behind them. It really is. Super League is coming. I don't think there's a damn thing can do. Got to vote with your wallets, people. Super League is going to come in some form. If you're against it, don't watch it. All-star games would be lit for you content creators too. Yeah, I mean, I'd need a media pass, really. I ain't trying to be there, really. But even that, if you're a player, if you're Kevin De Bruyne on, for instance, because he'd be in it, are you going to take it seriously? Because what is it? It's not playing for City. It's not Champions League. Yeah, I'm playing with all the other lit guys in the league, but I don't want to get injured. I'm just going to try skillers. I think what they should do is just get the St. Maximins, the Zahas, anyone who just, they don't have to necessarily be the best, but just get the best, the most exciting players to watch who are on skillers, slightly get the shittest defenders, and run that one. We're all going to watch it. And that's the thing with football. Football fans, we will put up with it because they know we love the game. That's why they raise season tickets. That's why they try these things. Yeah, when someone tries to meg you, but, bro, if you get injured, you're a dud. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. Keep your opinions coming. Arteta, as much as he loves football and has opinions, is an employee. They do what they're told. Exactly, you know, and they left them all to deal with the Super League and that. Look at Chelsea with Tuchel, you know, when even, yeah, with Tuchel, obviously when the, you know, when they couldn't even get a boss and all these things were happening with Roman Abramovich, they were asking Tuchel questions like he knows what's going on geopolitically. He's just an employee. He's a football man. He's not a politician. You know, them man didn't have to speak. 123 likes. Keep going, people. Fantastic over there. YouTube ones, thank you. Twitch ones, thank you. Elite stuff. Don't forget, people, 3:15. I'm going to be live across Twitch and YouTube with Babs. And at 4:30, I'm playing FM. So I'll probably be live with Babs for maybe 45 minutes, something like that. Set your reminders. Links dead there. This all-star thing isn't even serious in American sport, but people there love watching it. It's entertainment value, and that's all it is. It will make money. If I say, oh, you know, all you got to do is a picture. Mo Salah, Son, Kevin De Bruyne, or Saka, Jesus, all the lit guys in the Prem, they're going to sell. It's going to sell, bro. Just like every game, we get the fixture list, fixture schedule, better yet, and it's always moved for TV purposes. That's all they care about, man. These lot just care about peas. You think these fat cats, some owners don't get twisted, but you think these fat cats want to win Champions League because of what it would give the glory to the fans? They care about the peas and the image and all these things. Pardon me. Super League can happen, whatever, but this all-star thing is fugazi. Ain't trying to see Kane and Son on the team as Martinelli and Jesus. Yeah, man, Son and that might not be called up. I had to. Well, it definitely wouldn't be Hudson-Odoi, mate. I think they should make it a requirement that when players feel they are going into the last year of their footballing career to be allowed into the Super League. I don't know about all that. You're moving crazy, but shout out you, man. I don't know about none of that, but yeah. It's all entertainment. Big up yourself, my guy. Shit, I would go to that. Make it a movie over the weekend. Yeah, it would be, man. It would be. It would be. I can't lie. One thing I would like to see is relegation playoffs. I swear Germany got that. It looks lit. Could you imagine if you know, I don't know if the bottom 6 teams and you never actually finished in a relegation place, but you got twanged. And could you imagine if you're bottom of the league all season and you managed to win that relegation playoff final and beat the drop? Could you imagine the drama? Obviously, that is examples a bit elitist because Arsenal have never been relegated. Not everyone can say that. DG, what's your thoughts on the goalkeeper situation if Ramsdale gets injured? Would you feel comfortable with Turner? No, I wouldn't be, but I'll give him a chance. You know, everyone deserves a chance. But the little bits since I've seen in pre-season and even in the Europa League, you know, he could have been part of a calamitous own goal if Gabriel, I believe, didn't save it on the line. So not really. No, I'm not really here for it. But yeah, we're in problems. But I'll give him an opportunity. He does look like he's good with distribution and that, but that's not enough in this day and age now, is it really? Yeah, big him up. But I don't know for all that, my guy. Slap that there. One love to you lot tuned in, people. Let's see what the news people them are saying now, man. Let's see what the news thing is saying. So that's 1 hour and 15 seconds latest news. Let's start with the Athletic, because yesterday, I mean, I didn't, look at these articles. I didn't read them myself, so being a bit selfish. Again, Odegaard obviously missed the trip against Brentford, and we did see an update that the Norwegian gaffer thinks he'll be involved at some point. We hope Odegaard and anyone else that's got any knocks and niggles party, they return to the club in good health. Apparently, Xhaka has said we've got a new mentality. I think we have, but I need to see the same sort of things that we're talking about when there's 20 Premier League games played on the board. Or as the gaffer said, we need to get to 10 to 12 games before we start drawing conclusions, man. It is what it is. With the win, Arsenal moved to the top of the Premier League, having won 6 and lost 1 of their 7 games. Xhaka said, you see the new and different mentality we have this season. We had a great chance maybe after 1 minute with Martinelli. If he scores, we start the game well. But yeah, we are going to keep going, working each other. We are training like we play as well. And yeah, we have the class of individual players. They can make the difference. And today you saw that. Apparently, Ramsdale said it was crazy how much Arsenal's mentality had changed. I don't know if it changed, Carl. Did it necessarily change against United? Fundamentally, we lost and we dropped points from a position where we stood to take it. Show me against Spurs. Show me against Liverpool. Show me when there's injuries. Show me when it's the tail end of the and direct correlations as to whether we get top 4 or not. I don't know. Arteta's bigged up Ramsdale and said he merits the reward of the #1 shirt for England. Hopefully, he could do his thing. He said it would be a good reward for him for what he has done. I hope he is picked for the World Cup. I think it would be great for us. And Aaron, he showed in the last year what he is capable of doing. We'll be watching and waiting for that decision. He has 2 clean sheets in 6 games. So again, Arsenal, we could always do better. We need to do better in that regard. So yeah, it is what it is. Moving over to here, is there any other Arsenal-related headlines that have been related in the last hour? I don't know about none of that, but let's just deal with what we've got. I guess. So yeah, man, let's start with what we have here. Before we get into that, first things first, love for the super chat, my bro. Gunner down under, appreciate you for being a YouTube member. Big up. I have to say, our most important player currently would have to be our most consistent. For me, it's either Xhaka or Saliba. Shout out Jesus, I hear that. So yeah, man, away from that, apparently Arsenal make contact with reps for Jesper Lindstrom, the 22-year-old. We all saw him, you see him currently in the Champions League, but he was playing in the Europa League last year for Frankfurt. Apparently, according to Blind, we've made contact with the view of signing him in January, people. So we have to see. He can play on either wing. He can play through the middle. That's a versatile player for us. He's got 8 goals and 9 assists in 49 games, people. He's had a quiet start to the campaign. This article says he scored just once in the Bundesliga. So yeah, man, we'll have to see how that one develops. I think there's a couple of things related to that as well. So let's just try and go through them. Arsenal have contacted signing him in the January window, people. That's in relation to Party. I'm just trying to keep this all together still. Where's the other one? That as well. Jesper Lindstrom has apparently aroused desires in the Premier League with his decent performances at Frankfurt. As Blind, I don't know if Blind are a credible news station. Arsenal is considering efforts to win the offensive player. According to this, the Gunners had already checked with his advisors. So he's 22. He can play. He's a versatile player. He's playing in Europe. He's 22. He just, without talking about the individual player, he ticks the boxes. He must come up on some analytical software. So obviously, every club is going to be scouting. Just because scouts are watching doesn't mean they're going to make a move. They could not be convinced. They could be convinced to make a move for him. They could be wanting to just update their knowledge. They could be looking at other players. Scouts are going to work. Going to a game is work for a scout. So just because you hear scouts are looking doesn't mean much. But if he's lit, bring my man in it. And they're definitely going to want to make a profit on the 7 million they allegedly paid for him anyways, people. So we're going to have to see. Apparently, most chances created in the Premier League in 2022-23. Jesus has created 14. Saka's third with 12, as is Martinelli. Kevin De Bruyne has got 13. And then obviously, the list, as you can see here, Jesus, De Bruyne, Saka, Martinelli. It's nice that we got 3 players in there. Pereira, Sterling, Mitrovic, Kane, Gundogan, and Tossa. I'd like to concede what is creating chances, and I would like to see in a nice way, I wouldn't like Jesus to be there. I like that you're doing that, but I don't think we create enough chances for Jesus personally. This article, what is it saying? Apparently, Newcastle are tracking Arsenal and Everton target Modric, who's playing today for Ukraine against Scotland. Apparently, he's hoping for a January move, and apparently, there's a list of about 15 clubs. We focused on him yesterday. Go and check out my live stream or cut up content for what Ben Jacobs said. Or hit up my man's Twitter if you want, but it is what it is. Apparently, you know, Shakhtar are set to raise the demands for Modric this winter, people. As you know, he's in demand several teams around Europe. Just because they're scouting, once again, doesn't mean man are going to move for him, people. But yeah, Newcastle, Sevilla, Leverkusen, Arsenal, Everton, all credited with interest, and apparently even Liverpool and just about anybody. So it is what it is. Arsenal physio sends Garner strict routine to help reduce risk of injury. This is in relation to our 29-year-old Thomas Partey, who keeps suffering a recurring injury. So we hope he returns from international duty in good stead. I think this was an article I was reading for myself. Arsenal reportedly want to sign Locatelli 1 year after he rejected them. I mean, you know, apparently he was a Juventus fan growing up, and Zachariah was at Juventus 2 seconds and he's gone Chelsea. And this guy's Italian. I very much doubt we're going to go for him. I very much doubt that they want to sell him. I very much doubt he wants to give up on his time at Juventus. You know, I'm having him if he wants to sign and they want to get rid, but I don't believe it really and truly. So yeah, man, apparently we're looking at him. It ain't quite working out for him at Juventus. Neither is it for Vlahovic, and we hope that continues. So we have to see. They wanted to sell to the highest bidder, so that's Swallow, but he wanted Juventus, people. He didn't fancy a move to the Emirates. A lot can change, but it's a bit of a myth, really. So yeah, man, he did say Arsenal offered us 35 million, 40 million euros, but Locatelli's will was to only go Juventus, and we did everything to please him. Our request that of Arsenal, which cost us something. So it's probably a myth. The man didn't want to sign. He's probably signed a 3-4 year deal. That's a myth, man. So we'll have to see, man. Marquinhos could probably do a thing. I hope so, man. Man said Garner FA reading that letter from Arsenal. Probably not, man. That's like I said, I hope he just returns calm, innit, really. So yeah. Good there. So it looks like we did a bandulu on Aaron Ramsey. Apparently the contract offer was there, in which it could have helped us. It might not. You know, we've done a lot of L's really with giving big contracts to players and seeing them stink up the place. He said, tell all what happened. He said, I agreed to a contract they proposed. Things went quiet for a few weeks. I was telling my agent, let's do it. Then all of a sudden, the contract was no longer there. There was nothing to sign or agree on. It was a difficult start for a few months with Emery. As the season was going on, I was playing more and playing really well. Then January came and I had to make a decision whether I carried on and saw what happened or whether I agreed to sign elsewhere. Juventus were keen on Ramsey. Didn't work out for him. He's now at Nice, but he did win a trophy at Juventus. I decided to do that move because there was nothing on the table from Arsenal. I have no bad words or bad feelings to Arsenal. They're still a massive part of my life. I still look out for them, and I'm really glad to see them doing well. I always have love for Arsenal, and that will never change. So big up yourself. Do your thing over there in France, my guy. Again, these articles are not going to help Ethan, but it's lovely to see he's developing and everyone's waxing lyrical. But I would say all of these guys saying you're the guy, they'll turn on you if you have a shaky performance. So we'll have to see how that one develops. Ivan Toney ramps up war of words with Arsenal over cringe-worthy tweets. So you don't think it's cringy every time you talk shit on socials? You don't think it's cringy where you act like... Don't give it if you can't take it. If Arsenal go and get slapped at home to Brentford, you're going to be the first club just because they saw a bit of Nani. Media as well. Anyways, footballer like you getting meaty, girl, but it's calm. You know, everyone's beautiful. Lol, not the ones you're doing. You know, you're a better striker on the pitch than off it. Your decision-making is horrible. Good thing you're in the England squad. So, yeah, obviously, Gabriel did a nice kickabout with the boys thing. Lacazette did it. It is what it is. He said, I think once was funny. Second time, a bit cringy. I bit my tongue. You bit your tongue. You couldn't say anything. You lost. You can't chat shit if you lost. You just look like a pussy. So you had to shut up. He said, I wanted to reply. I wanted to nibble, but fair play to them. They're a different Arsenal side to what we played before, and they played really well. Yeah, we slapped you lot twice. You know, I like this. I don't want to beef Brentford. We ain't got beef with you. In the last 18 months, 2 years, Villa, West Ham, Brighton, Brentford, I respect all your clubs, but allow it, bro. Like, please, this is why Arsenal needs up with us. It's a myth, really and truly. It is what it is. So, yeah, big up Ivan Toney. Happy for you in the England squad and things like that. Hopefully, you're not a one-cap wonder and Southgate sees it, but he really, like... Get back, do a get back, stop chatting and retaliate. But anyways, Balogun learning the true meaning of Mikel Arteta's message to become a man while on loan at Reims, people. What has he said exactly? Before I moved, Mikel just wanted me to develop as a man, obviously outside your comfort zone. No one gives a flying monkeys that you're Balogun with all this potential at Arsenal. All they see it is, are you going to score the goals or not? In which he's been doing all right. It was kind of like an open answer, and it was for me to interpret what he meant. He's a very direct person. If he wants to get to message to you in the moment, but I also think he thinks long term, I feel that's his plan. By moving abroad, I'm starting to learn what he meant. And again, Arteta can give you the information, but players, especially young ones, you've got to do self-discovery sometimes. It doesn't just, like he said with Smith Rowe, I'm not going to watch the games, I just want to hear. And I like that sort of stuff from Mikel. It doesn't just mean on the pitch, but also off it. I think by the time I go back, I'll be in a better place to compete than I was before. Well, yeah. And he also said he was getting to grips with the lingo with only 3 people at Rim speaking English. So, yeah, man, do your thing. But this is what it's about. And from life, man, from a life perspective, you're traveling the world, you know, you've been on a couple of loans and that, you're seeing what it's about, really. There's a few times I'm asking for simple things like, can you pass me that water? And he's looking at me like, what are you saying? The lessons are once a week at the minute for an hour. I tried to do a bit longer, but it started to give me a headache. It helps me mature a lot because literally you're just fending. I think it's very important to just throw yourself in at the deep end as I'm trying to do, and hopefully I don't drown. And that's it, you know. There's no point learning how to swim if you're just going to swim in shallow waters. You need to see how the current is, innit? He said, I had other options in England, and that was the only option in France. And they wanted to take him off Arsenal before he signed his scholarship. So that might have played a part. I felt that from watching and studying the French league, I felt it was a league I could make. And I realized there were certain things I would struggle with, but I think that's a good thing. I spoke to Nelson and I spoke to Pepe at Arsenal. He encouraged me to move abroad, like Lacazette. He told me Liga or Ligue 1, as it says here, would be a good league for me. He's someone who's trained with me for a while at Arsenal. I also studied it myself with my agents and my family. Collectively, we decided it would be a good league for me. When I played against Lyon, I spoke to Lacazette after the game. He was almost saying, I told you this league is good for you. He was just encouraging me to keep going. Shout out Lacazette, come be a youth coach. I saw a bit of what he said and spoke to Henry briefly when I was at Arsenal. He just encouraged me that I'm at an age when I need to play. Amen. He didn't say where I should play, but it's nice to get praise from someone who has done so much in the game and who I look up to. He then spoke about, obviously, when he played against Brentford, where the conditions weren't necessarily right, but it's sink or swim. And he is in the England under-21 side. He said, when I look back on the game, I feel like there's a lot of emotions even now. It was a difficult time for me because I signed my deal and I was on like an up. To play that game, first game of the season, it was more of a shock to me, as it should be. It was more like a reality check, as it should be. Welcome to the world, player. Your talent got you in the door. Your ability is going to keep you there. And it's more than just your footballing ability. As to this is how difficult the league can be, playing a newly promoted side, and we lost playing the way we did. Definitely it was something I needed, and I'm more respectful for when stuff doesn't go my way. There's not much use looking at negatives of a situation because they don't really help you. I just try to look for the positives and focus on them. Big up Balogun. Very mature words from our young striker. So, yeah, big up him. We saw that already. And again, we have heard Arsenal potentially and Spurs fans could face travel chaos with potentially strikes and all these things going on where train journeys are in the best of form for Palmeiras. He's been linked with us. Maybe his head is elsewhere. His head is elsewhere. Arsenal target hints at January move following Edu talks, people. Whatever that means. Palmeiras talent and Arsenal transfer target Danilo picked up his second yellow card of the season on Sunday during what was described as another average performance by viewers of the, let's just say, Brazilian league. I can't say that. Campeonato Brasileiro. Again, I tried, people. God loves a try. I tried. It didn't bang. But I tried, people. So, yeah, what has he said? Sorry, what's Twitch saying? Got an alert on Twitch. Just make sure everything's good. Mafia, appreciate you for subscribing with Amazon Prime as well. Don't forget, 3:15 on Twitch and YouTube. I have Babs on my channel. We'll be talking for about 45 minutes. Anything you lot want, as well as some questions up on Twitch. But yeah, apparently he received another red card, so that tells you he's still as good as he is, tried and untested and still raw. So while we need a midfielder and January's a difficult time, we probably have to give a man time to develop. Apparently, Brazilian football fans have taken to social media to voice their opinions on Danilo's recent displays, suggesting he could be distracted by transfer interest from Arsenal. In brackets, Danilo has been below par for a few months now. Another red card for him tonight against Santos, combined with an average performance. Looks like his head is elsewhere, said a Twitter rumor. Apparently, meanwhile, a Palmeiras supporter claimed that the midfielder looked like someone who no longer wants to be at the club. In brackets, Danilo plays a lot, but he no longer has his mind on Palmeiras. We don't need players who don't want to be at the club. Once again, Danilo let Palmeiras down, wrong all over again. He doesn't hit another pass, worse on the field, and ended the Palmeiras game. We know we tried to explore the opportunity to bring him. We all know that Palmeiras felt it wasn't of him, so hopefully he gets it together. Because I remember it's different, but I remember Camavinga was very poor in his last year at Rennes. Maybe he was distracted. Apparently, Edu will try again for Danilo. I mean, whether it's Douglas Luiz, Danilo, Telemans, we need reinforcements in midfield. So hopefully that gets done, people. I don't know why I got that tab twice. And again, Arsenal told they could have the next Phil Foden. Let their man just develop, man. It's not helping nobody. Shout Charles Watts, but that's irrelevant to us. And with that, I think that's any current paper talk, really and truly, people. So, yeah, what you lot saying in the chat? Sorry for getting through that quickly, but yeah, the only reason I don't try and look at the chat when that's there is because when I cut up the clips, I try and just make it a straightforward process for those that are not there in it. So yeah, it is what it is where that's concerned. Let's see what else is going on. Talking Highbury, what you look got apart from this Lim Strong thing. That seems to be it, really and truly. Let's have a browse through Twitter, folks, for you lot very quickly. See the work I put in for you lot. Better appreciate this. 100%. Slap that there. Oh, that's not you copy and paste. Slap that there. Remember what the bloody name the car clip. See what you're saying. Have you got anything? Not really. Not really. Ted Lasso was out our game. Crazy. Yeah, don't look like there's nothing apart from Ivan Toney crying and that. Crying more, blood. You what? You didn't think it was cringy when you was doing what you're doing? Cry more, man. Toney, cry more. Or Sanfrosh, can't beat us. Join us, my brother. Join us. You see the icy free shining. Arsenal fans used to praise Lacazette for working hard. You know what we could do with you? Join the dark side, man. Throwing up the wrong red. If Saka gets injured, I'm only worried because we have no other senior players in that position, not because of Saka himself. I mean, Martinelli's going to have to move over there and Smith Rowe's got to come in it. It's good this season that we have 3 left backs. Zinchenko, Toney, and Saka are great left back options, but we only have 1 right winger in Marquinhos. Nelson's still there. Locatelli is not informed. To be honest, I watched Serie A. He's poor right now. To be fair, you could say that for the whole of Juventus. What's your opinions on what Jason Cundy said? Fuck him, bro. Like, he's gonna chat shit. I mean, it is, but okay, I don't really care, man. I do think it's cringy, but it is what it is, bro. I think we should move past it. But Ivan Toney would have chatted his was if they won. He will chat their was if they win again. I don't think we're in for Locatelli. Why Locatelli now? He rejected Arsenal. There are other players who are better than him. Look at Danilo or Neves. I don't know if Neves, I mean, young Danilo's better than him right now, but it is what it is. Shouldn't be chatting. Toney got humbled, but fair play to him. He spoke well. Toney didn't get any honey, but got a lot of salt instead. Saka is getting underrated. When he finishes with 13 goals and 18 assists, people won't. Calvin, fuck what Jason said, bro. Pardon my French. Fuck him, man. He's a clown, bro. Him, Danny Murphy, them don't even care, bro. I bet you didn't even watch the Arsenal. I bet you they don't even know what Ethan looks like. I bet you they don't even know what he looks like. They're just chatting. All-Star Weekend is dead food. Even here in North America, it loses viewership each year. Boring as heck. I don't think Balogun makes it. I can't lie. I don't know. I mean, hopefully Balogun makes it here. If not, if you can make 20, 30 odd million quid or more, that's what the academy needs to do. And hopefully, if we have to cross that, you know, because he's still 2021, we got to remember to ask my man to pull this club along is different. It's difficult. I know people will say, "Well, Saka did it, but Foden this, but the madman who I'm not listing at United and Fatty and Pedri." Yeah, of course. Out of the thousands of young players, millions of young players, we're gonna name 10. Is that an exception or that is that the rule? I don't know. But yeah, if Balogun don't make it here, hopefully we learn our mistakes from the likes of Maitland-Niles and that. When there's offers to make bread, we make the bread and we keep it moving. Hopefully. Nah, don't compare Saka to Mickey Mount, bro. He's not. Saka different. I don't know them and it. He don't have to be a special player, bro. Like I all want special players, but Saka does his thing in it. Like Saka's not the most glamorous guy to watch, but I'm happy with him, you know. And he plays the way he playing now. He's playing like I watched him in the youth academy. If you can keep doing what you're doing, I don't care if you can do a million kick-ups. Of course, I like exciting players, but there's always this. Oh, he's average or he's nothing special. And I'm not talking about Saka, I'm talking in general, bro. Do you know how many players that are legends of all of these English clubs or clubs in general that weren't special? Ray Parlour weren't special. He's one of my favorite players at Arsenal. Big game player. Romford Pele and that. It don't matter if you're special. Just be consistent. I've seen players come through the academy that look more exciting than Saka. But if you can't replicate that, if you can't, if your footballing IQ is not there, don't matter. I'm not impressed by a flash in the pan. What's your intelligence saying? What is your, I don't really like to waffle about numbers, but what's your numbers saying? Saka's doing all right and has done all right in that. Realistically, Toney is caught between a rock and a hard standing, so that's all he can say. He can't say anything. You chat shit. You can't chat shit. Balogun's doing really well. He's matured quite a bit. Still needs improvement, but glad with his progress so far. I hear that. DG vote in the poll. What vote? Oh, Twitch gang. Highest ceiling. Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli. Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. Because Martinelli's not really polished, but he's a demon. Like he's hungry. Like Smith Rowe's my guy. Now, big up Mason Mount, but I like Mount top blue, but come on, respect my thing. Don't put Saka with him, bro. I don't know them youths. When my young demons before cup finals do their thing, certain men are saying how their dad's having conversations with them and they get his slapped like, man. Mount's decent. I like Mount, but come on, man. Respect my guy, bro. I'm going to go with the Brazil lad, Martinelli. They go, hey, shout out the Twitch gang. First time you lot have bloody included me in the vote. Feel honoured, man. You lot never bring me through. Just let the man develop, man. Just let the man develop, but it's crazy. Balogun, Tavares, and others improving online. I'm sure Tavares is developing, but he's not really developing in the areas I want to see. I've said in his last game, I think he does well going forward. I do think he's getting greater consistency, but I'm still yet to be convinced defensively. Him going forward and scoring goals and them things there, his crossing could improve, but that don't impress me. I know you can do that. That's a strength of yours. You need to work on your weaknesses. If I have a young son, which I don't, Gally shout me, can get that done, more is 30. But if I have a young son and I know his left foot is amazing, I don't care about that, bro. Work on your right foot, because there's going to be a time you're not going to be able to rely on that. Really and truly. If you're bare fast or strong and you rely on that in an academy, I'm going to tell you work on your technical skills, because when everything balances out, you're in trouble. Tell him. I don't know what. Yeah, Tony's chatting, man. I forgot about that. You're right. He was chatting ish on the. To be fair, he was gassing himself, really. He was gassing himself. Right, top blues, don't you look like? Right. Shy. Let's put names to faces for once. I like Toney, but it is what it is. I hope that went to me. I didn't say you was hating on Saka. It's not about flair with footballers. It's about how effective you are. Look at Haaland. Not good on the eye, but definitely effective. Toney has the right to stay silent. He just doesn't have the ability. That's harsh. Nah, man. You lot never bust me in these voting things, man. Tavares' future is going to be left wing, backup left wing. What? Where? Arsenal? Way in the deck. Let's see what going in it. On the flanks, I know that much. I actually have to look at you differently, and I think you're good going forward, but I think people gas it. Like, You do score goals, but it's wild shots over the bar. Don't pick out enough men with your crosses. That's dead. If you get into the final third, you can't score or pick out a man. It's dead. Defensively, I will do a special video for Tavares when there's that game where I can say, yo, 1v1 defensively, tracking, marking, all these sort of things. Then I will be impressed. Big up Tavares. I'm not trying to water down his thing, but yeah, man. Have you ever met Ian Wright? If so, please tell us what you know about him. He's a cool guy, man. It's just like an uncle, man. Of course, I ain't met Ian Wright, though, man.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
He's a cool guy, man. He's a cool guy. He's a bigger uncle, man. Tell him again. Yeah, I can't lie. Sit out for that one. Back 5 settings, bro. Even if you're playing in the back 5, you still have to defend, my bro. Shout out Tavares, you know. Shout out Tavares, because you've got I like you as a footballer. If you could just be a bit spot on defensively, you could be a decent wing back. But if you're playing left wing, I gotta judge you very differently. Very differently. Very differently. Crazy. Yeah, he does. He does. Son scored 3 goals in 14 minutes. Saliba, has 2 goals. So his big son is only 1 ahead of Saliba. So if we're gonna do dumb stuff, we can all be foolish. But yeah, shout out to him. French league, do your thing. You know, I don't know what you're alluding. Saka needs to score goals, but I don't know if you're trying to send for Saka there. You know Tavares is meaty. You know it yourself. Look at this troll. This is it. It's childish, bro. Oh, you lot are doing Twitch gang having in-house. No issues with Toney doing what he does. Was the same with Dini, but if you give it, you have to take it somewhere. Exactly. And you know, Arsenal fans are never good. Football fans don't forgive. They don't forgive. They might be able to put a line through it and not be happy. They don't forgive. There's not a damn reason to be getting onto Xhaka or Kroenke out at this moment in time. You think there's some fans that are not doing up that one? Only fitness is getting in Smith Rowe's way regarding reaching his ceiling. I hear that. Toney thinks it's cringy. Who started it? Eat your own medicine, lad. I hear that. For a long time, bro, I've seen the potential, in my opinion, for Saka to become an elite modern-day number 10. I mean, he's technically played centre mid for Arsenal when we was in the trenches, if you remember. So why not? But don't know. But we all can't talk enough about Saliba, but man, he looks good in it. Suddenly, Arteta does know what he's doing in it with the loans and what he's doing. Saka don't play like a left winger, right winger. He does play like a right inside forward to me if we're watching the games. You know, it comes off the flanks, plays 1-2s and that. Saka is our best passer. Saka for me is a bit of a mix of Ozil and Sanchez. He was fully watching these men as a fan and it rubbed off. Alright. Big up you lot, but I think you lot are smoking some crack now. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Even Rafinha, but what's he on? Like, he's still doing that Leeds BS. Saka's an inside forward. Like, wingers are not going to put up numbers. Respectfully, but how doesn't Saka play like a right winger? He takes his man on when he can. He scores goals. He gets assists. You know, he looks to play it inside and play neat little 1-2s. Dembele's a baller, bro. Big up everyone, but I don't see the Sanchez one, but he's probably closer to Sanchez than Ozil. He ain't got that eye of a needle pass, really. The closest you'll get to Ozil in our squad's probably Odegaard, and he's a long way from ever being mentioned in that territory. Humbly, respectfully. So we'll have to see how things develop, man. We really will. Arsenal released some new bags. Let's see what these are saying, people. New merch. Hey, who said we only release merch? They are 60 quid. Nah, Arsenal. Listen, your boy in it. There's no way I'm getting that. This is a wavy bag, but man said 60 quid for this. Nah. We're gonna have to get a next one still. You lost it. 60 quid for the hat as well. Wow. Big up Arsenal, but wow. What? Nah, your boy did. Man said 65 quid for this as well. They're wavy, but bloody hell. You might as well just put a few extra bob and get the shirt. Well, that's not the Adidas thing, though, so I don't know about that. Wow, Arsenal. Wow. Big up Arsenal, but wow. If you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi and you're counting pre-assist, don't talk on Saka. Go and watch it. I don't want to hear it from Dons with Billy Gilmore and Gallagher and all these Dons. I don't want to hear it. Dons that used to gas up Masunda and these guys. You cannot speak on my Highland Demons. The drip is different. It's different. Please, stop, man. Stop. Top blue. Calmer. Please. Chill. What's good? Just checking in this afternoon and just had the pre-op checks before tomorrow. What have I missed? Missed everything. Big up yourself, Harrison. Hope the operation tomorrow is a smooth one, really and truly. 40 more likes until 200 people. One love in advance, mate. Great live stream. Time's flying. Don't forget 3:15. I'm with Babs on my channel on YouTube and Twitch. Pardon me. At then 4:30 we're playing FM and then we're done for the day. What we talk about tomorrow, God knows. Trust 120 quid for 2 items. Crazy. To be fair, we could be raising the funds for Douglas Luiz. Pardon me. Trust, you can get them. Yeah, just don't need the Adidas thing. No. Focus on Hudson-Odoi, man. I just know Saka. But Hudson-Odoi cut his hair and done the level 1 and he's still doing fuck all, bro. Now shit you have to be to take all the funky footballer hairstyles and go back to basics, what you was born with, and still stink up the place. I love Hudson-Odoi as a footballer, but you know he plays for Chelsea. You man of the ops. Agendas are free. Truth is sold separately. Haaland different, bro. We make demons out here, man. Can't wait till we buck through Fana. But it's not hard to be better than Hudson-Odoi, bro. Saliba's better than him up front and that. Crazy. They might need to chat to Alanga. Alanga's probably better than him right now. Crazy. I don't know them Starboy 1v1D even. Douglas Luiz thing was now or never. I can't lie. Don't want to see him in Chan if we've got better options. If we've got better options, then why not? But he might be available on the cheap. But my biggest fear is Aston Villa might say, you know what, you can F off in January abroad. It's not a problem. Saka is contributing to the team despite him being ganged up on by opposing defenders in games. The man is young. Let him develop. Plus, you know, he's hungry and he'll ball for us. Big up the nation. Come on. Better options like, I don't know. Villa rather lose money, Luiz for free and then get Modric. Saliba is a target man we've been looking for. Opportunities, bro. Why is this? I don't know why the comment's not able to come off screen now. Bit of a like that. Wingers don't really exist anymore. Everyone is inverted. No one hugs the touchline and whips it in. Tell them again. And even if they do, they're not necessarily getting the numbers. Man have to deep how the way Trent's ability going forward still doesn't save him from defending, getting gunned down by certain man. How's Tavares ever going to be levels with a couple goals per season? It's mad. Shout out my YouTube members. No matter how much the game develops for goalkeepers, you still got to be able to catch. You can be this false 9, drop deep, have all the fancy heat maps up front you want. You still got to score goals or there's question marks. You can be this, you know, left backs today are more or less centre mids, and you know, just to use Zinchenko as an example, not a criticism. He can be centre left back and run off into centre mid and right wing as much as he wants. You still got to check your shoulders, which we didn't do at Old Trafford. No matter how much the game develops, certain principles remain the same and stuff like that. So I do hope Tavares can, as I said, defensively. Like again, you lot see my loan reports. I'm not trying to catch him out. I know if you improve defensively, we've got a better player. You might be able to convince Arteta a bit more then. Obviously, you need to just simply have confidence. Who said Saka don't get numbers, bro? Bro, why are you watching what other man eat? Why are you watching other man's plates? You're a Bedina top blue, man. What are you doing the Bedina thing for? Crazy. Hey, listen, Zach, bro, I'm Saka Defense League, you know. He can do no wrong to me. Telemans, hell no. I didn't want that guy at any point. I said months ago, he's barely an upgrade on Xhaka. And after watching Xhaka recently, he probably isn't an upgrade anyways. I'm still taking Telemans still. He's a baller, but I don't know who it would be, but I don't think he's the curtain raiser like our midfield goes woof up another level. But bring him, man. We could do a lot worse. Speaking facts, but I feel sorry for Martinez being left out of the Argentina squad. What Martinez and why has he been left out? Odegaard is more Bergkamp than Ozil. I can't lie, DG. Tavares is good going forward, but defensively not that good. I mean, we know this. You know, there's been 3 players I've been right on. I told you, man, Lacazette won't get 20 league goals. I told you what to expect with Nuno Tavares, and I told you this Pepe thing is not taking us out the hood. I told you, look, this. You know, I've been wrong about many things, but I told you, look, why? Because you could tell what Tavares was on. Anyone that was watching the 12, 18 months before Pepe signed for Arsenal, you could see it. You just knew Lacazette weren't going to get that. Odegaard is more young Cazorla. He's not even playing as an 8. I don't rate Telemans' work ethic, but his numbers are decent in that. Rather get Douglas Luiz to cover Partey and play Lokonga as an 8. Get Lokonga, big up you. Get your chances in that role, but it's a bit Bandulu, really. You know, he's not really the 8 I want to see. I think you're more of a 6. You're not really ready to play the 6 thing. Make something happen, man. Make something happen, really. Make something happen. If you can make something happen, make something happen. But yeah, where's Odegaard playing out wide? You're forgetting, you know, when we moved Santi Cazorla in the 8 role, he said I was doing it in my younger days, which he was. Odegaard's starting to add goals. For me, I would say the biggest thing I want to see from Odegaard, I want to see him dictate the tempo of the game. I want to see things run through him. I think he could play as an 8. Obviously, goals and assists as well. And I want to see you do it in the trenches. Pepe will take us out the hood. To where? To prison? I don't know, man, but we're not getting to the whatever. This is why I always say they did my boy Wan-Bissaka dirty. Elite tackler. Oh, I wouldn't say elite tackler. If you're always sliding about, his issues there, man. But because he ain't whipping balls in, he's dead food. He needs a bit of both, but don't get twanged by a few goals again. Yeah, I mean, Wan-Bissaka ain't developed a lot. He just slide tackle FC, man. Not good enough on the ball for a team like United. I think he goes to sleep as well when it comes to following your runners. You know, I do like slide tackling, but if you're always sliding, you're making issues. Patino, let the man develop, scored his first goal, his second professional goal, first in a Blackpool shirt the other day, little close range tapping, you know. Let him develop, man. Let him develop. Not everybody's going to be ready in a year. Some guys are going to hit it off straight away and then have a little bit of a wobble. Some people are going to need a year or two. Let Patino keep developing. Even 20, 30 games under his belt. Same with Balogun. It puts them in good stead, but it's a different beast asking you lot to be consistently good for Arsenal Football Club. And you know, forget playing football, all the variables that come in, you know, because a lot of people don't care. A lot of people don't care. These men are young. You don't miss a chance, we lose. Young defender makes a mistake. They don't care. There's never an ideal time to play young players. There's never, in essence, they're ready. You know, it's almost a wait and see. But let these guys just do their thing, man. Just let them do their thing. Some will be ready, some won't. Some will make it, some won't. Some will go to other clubs and flourish elsewhere. You know, you can't really have a group approach for young players. We'll have to see, man. I wouldn't say Wan-Bissaka is an elite tackler, though. Elite's a strong word still. Danilo win Lokonga out. They're looking like a bit of the same. His positioning is horrible. What's Norton Coffee saying? Deluded. I mean, he's doing his thing. He's developing. I like it. Again, it will come out in the loan report. But I watched the game against Rotherham. I like his mentality. He tried to make things happen. You know, I do think sometimes he does that youthful things, like he's not looking over his shoulder. He's not following runners. He's putting the ball out of play where you don't need to. Tries to make tackles you don't. I think the only thing I could see Brook struggling to make it at Arsenal is the technical level. I think he's a bit too raw with it. I don't quite think he's got that technical glee. He's a bit like Wan-Bissaka in that regard. That could be the only thing I feel could let him down. And at 18, 19, that's not really going to change. I think that's the only thing. But he's got the mentality. You might be able to get a trick out of him, and he's doing the right things. But as I said, either these dons make it here or we sell them for decent money. We've committed Norton Coffee to a new deal. Balogun the other day. Kiddo Taylor Hart's been injured and he's resetting. But I want all these guys. I always tell you, I want a 20, 25 man Haaland squad. It's an impossible task. Or players that came here as youth. That's what we should be aspiring to. But if they can't hit that level, make your money and keep it moving. Simple as that, really. Again, you've got to give these guys time. There was a lot of people saying play Brook Norton Coffee against Newcastle away, and them guys, when he gets ripped, they'll be the first talent getting onto him. I want to see what he's at 18, 19. I mean, at 19, 20. Hutchinson, it hurts, but it is where it is, man. Jesus Yellow versus Spurs will be for moaning at the ref or something. Boy, opinions are crazy today, but that's all it's about. Great to hear different opinions. Again, I always say, don't tell you what to think. Just think. Seeing things through different lenses is good for a perspective. It'd be a boring world if we all agreed. Where do you think Arsenal end up this season? By God's grace, top 4. You already know Jesus is going to pick up some Bandulu booking in the Spurs game and miss Liverpool. Yeah. I don't even think it's going to be Bandulu. He's just going to have to take one for the team, bro. I hope he's a first-team player, man. I'm keen to see what he does at off the back of the Rotherham loan to build on the experience he got at Lincoln. But yeah, I'd say off the ball, he's caught flat. Brooks caught flat-footed a lot, but I'm rooting for him. He's one of the first players to let me interview him. He's a Highland boy, and he's a fullback as well. So yeah, man, all we could do is take. I don't know what hood we're getting out with Pepe, boy. Hey, I don't know. No time for Telemans, just get Matt Smith game time. Don't know. I hope so, man. But yeah, man. Odegaard is a really good player. He's not great, not amazing, and certainly not on smoke enough of the game. I hope these Arsenal youngsters want to play for JA, my bro. And they're all the other motherland nations, but they've got to want to. 171 likes, people. Amen. Yo, DG, what's your thoughts on Rice joining the Gunners? I'll take Declan Rice, but, they're going to ask for more than I believe he's worth. English tax. It means a lot to West Ham. He's technically their captain. Obviously, I think his contract's running down, but it's probably more than we can spare, if I'm completely honest. So, yeah, man, myth. Absolute myth. I hope so. Arsenal need Leon Bailey. Pepe will show you, man. But I like Pepe, but it's not going to happen here, innit? You don't need to show me. You need to show Mikel Arteta. All right? And your contract's running down till 2024, the same length of time as Martinelli, Saka, Saliba. There's talk around them with new deals. Little to no talk beyond the obvious with Pepe. Where do you think we're getting? Rice is nowhere near Partey. Rice is at best 50 million, but they're going to want more than that. So it's a myth. Big up yourself, Top Blue, man. Nah, Top Blue's cool, man. Shout out to all the fans that don't support Arsenal. They just rock with me as a content creator, man. Top Blue's cool, man. I don't know for Danny, though. Sangare be lit, but Ravi, they should have got them and there when they were at Toulouse. I'd take Grealish, but again, if there is rumours in that, how much is he going to cost? And as much as I like Grealish, beyond being a baller, what's he going to bring? Because he's not necessarily getting numbers. Elite. Fair enough. You should 100% get someone on, and throughout the international break, debate the teams for the North/South teams would be a good show and debate. Trying to get some content, man. DG, remember when I mentioned Mudryk on your stream a while back? Not necessarily, but I'd take your opinion, man. If you did, you need to go and sign for Arsenal and go get these scout and do the scouting thing, my guy, man. I'm always catching strays. No, it's not strays. Direct, Danny, you're a fanny, bro. I'm on to you. I lost the Champions League final and you was talking nonsense. Big up all the Twitch ones that were there for FM. I'm on to you. I'm so on to you for life. The beef is never, ever stopping. Shout out to you for the support, but never, ever stopping. Like I said, we're in May 2027 in that game. In May 2028, make sure you're there and win. Things not coming up, man. What's going on? Do you think this is the final season for Nelson? But honestly, him and Sancho have a lot of similarities. I mean, I would love for Reece Nelson to have a chance, man. But for him, as I said earlier, it's looking like you need to go elsewhere now, where there's a bit of stability, where there's a let away from the hype, and you can just do your thing. Maybe Feyenoord would have been that place. I would love for Nelson. I like Nelson a lot as a footballer, but it's looking like a myth, man. Now, I'm not your left back, bro. Shut up, man. Leao at Lyon. We gambled for Pepe. Size in hindsight, it's crazy. For a bit, bro, everybody's lit then. You're playing the same system as Man City as well. Grealish needs to run at people. I'm taking Grealish, and he's a lit player. I think he would get numbers, but it's away from him just being lit. There's not really any tangible reasons, really. Yeah, he can play off the left a bit like Smith Rowe. And there's a lot of, listen, I'm taking Grealish, but yeah, man, we've said it all in it. So yeah, man, we'll have to see what going. If I'm completely honest, shout out to you lot though, man. You lot again. It's been probably my most enjoyable stream of the week. You lot's talking points have been good. What? I lost the Champions League final. Okay, cool. 5 years. I got to 5 finals. I won 4 of them. Name me an Arsenal manager that rizzed that up. Respect. Football heritage. Respect. Respect. Grealish in the 10 will get numbers. I'm taking Grealish, bro. And he could learn, he could teach Emil a lot as well. And he's been there as that young player. Don't forget, it's only in the last 2 years, 18 months, Grealish has really been the whole world breading and things like that. He was at Villa for a time. Nelson was the original star boy. Again, I think it's more, not mentality, because I think his mentality is there. I just think Nelson suffers a bit. Injuries haven't helped. Doesn't look like he's fully confident, if that makes sense. Come on. Man said, who cares what this Toney nerd thinks? Man's in Saliba's pocket, amen. You know, that man said I spent 4 billion. You know, that's when the hate don't work, they're telling lies, man. I don't want Locatelli, and he chose his bed now, sleeping it too. I don't want no running back now. To be fair, it's probably not gonna happen. Like he's, you know, he wants to sign for Juventus. Are you gonna give up on it after a year? Especially where, let's be honest, you know, when the team's doing well, it's the players. When the team's doing bad, it's the manager. It looks like Allegri could be done out there. The next manager, you might be the guy. Oh, I would 100% take Benassia at Arsenal. He shouldn't have left in the first place, bro. All right, big up G1. To be fair, that's a shit agenda. They're bros, man. And this is it, man. That's what happens. You know, Nelson might never be what he was like, but you might see a different light. This is what I'm saying. Some people need to bust out of situations to leave. Nelson just hasn't lived up to it. I would love to see him do well, though, if not here, elsewhere at least. And that's what it is, man. And this is why I say develop these young bulls so that they could make a name for themselves at Arsenal, if not make peace, man. I just had to make it sound like, yeah, man, you're a horrible guy, G1. Piece of shit. Big up Harrison. Toney is tarnishing his name and burning his chance of joining the top 6 club. I doubt it, man. I think, you know, he could join Arsenal. I mean, Spurs would like all the nonsense you're talking. He has been linked with United. I think what goes against him is the price tag. Talking of exciting young players, has anyone mentioned Balogun yet? He looks like he will play a part next year. I don't know. He needs to keep going. Get the likes up, people. 20 more likes, still 200. Basuma still burns. No, really, because at the time you knew we weren't going for him. I would have liked Basuma at the club. He ain't here. My problem is, you know, you can be linked with Fabian Ruiz, with Locatelli, with Basuma, with Douglas Luiz, Telemans, Danilo, this guy in the wide positions, Neto. By all means, I might like some Neves. I might like some players more, but when you don't get one, that's my problem. Because I know we're asked to win it. We're not going to get every target, especially Rafinha, especially when there's bidding wars. But you know, when the window shuts, it doesn't help me saying, oh, at least you tried for Pedro now. At least you tried for Rafinha. At least you tried for centre mid. If we're going out on the pool and my brethrens managed to pull girl and I don't, are they going to say, at least you tried? No, I'm going to get banned. I didn't do nothing. Like, I'm going to think I'm sourceless, which is not true. In fact, now I am sourceless. I just do content, man. 10 more likes until 200 still. So, yeah, Balogun's doing his thing, man. I don't know if Balogun's going to make it. You can't judge anyone, really, because Eddie, it looked like you might... Again, I don't know if Eddie's going to have a long-term future, but he looked to go up a level. He's found a role in the team. It's now down to him to do his thing. I would still like another right winger. Ideally, you would like a striker in this team that does elsewhere. Balogun, who knows? If Balogun makes it here, great. Whether that's a squad player, a starter, or whatever. But as I said, as long as you can make bread for this team, that is my thing. The academy, especially if we ain't got money, we ain't got no sugar daddy owner. Our academy can help pay for things, you know. Again, I'm not the transfer man. It's not FIFA, but if you could get 30 million for Balogun, if you took the 20 on Maitland-Niles, that's 50 million for 2 players that ain't really playing much. You know, if Matt Smith and Miguel Aziz and Patino and all these guys develop to play for Arsenal, great. But if not, can we make some bread? That's it. And reinvest. Certain things can pay for itself. I don't know. You know, it costs 2 million, 3 million to keep Haaland running. When you sell Joe Willock for 30 million quid, how many years have you kept the light on? And this is it. Do the Tammy Abraham thing. Question: what if Balogun gets 15, 25 goals and assists in the French league? What do we do with him? Next loan or keep him or sell him? Boy, you know, I think he'd come back for pre-season. Arteta run the rule over him, see if he's levels. If not, I think you'd want to see him on, you know, you'd want to see him play in the Premier League and do his thing, man. DG with the black vest got sauce. Come on. Unless you can say he's an upgrade on Eddie, then he ain't making it at Arsenal. I hear that. I mean, that's what you'd have to do, man. You just have to see him in pre-season. Honestly, you would never know until he gets opportunities. I don't think Mika Bereth will make the grade here personally, but I hope he could. And if not, can make some peace. DJ, if Vlahovic wants to come, would you take him? Yeah, why not? But yeah, I'm sure Arsenal fans won't forgive him still. DG, how many players you realistically would want in a 25-man squad from the academy that you would feel we are doing well? That you can't put a number on it. Obviously, you know, I do think in a day and age, what goes against all these top 6 clubs, you can't have everything. Young players can't play all the time, given scope to grow, and fans say that and then get 3 points. Obviously, reality is for Mikel Arteta, you need to keep your job. You keep your job by playing well and things, you know. This is what you need to do. So anyone, I do genuinely think for any club, just with what the Premier League especially is, if only one player comes through your academy, it's calm. You know, I still want Arsenal to do what they're doing in that every 2 seasons, one is coming through. You know, we're in a unique position. And obviously, Mikel Arteta and Edu, they're in a unique position. If expectations were different, maybe these youth guys don't. It's genuinely amazing for all Premier League teams when just one Don makes it, you know, really. So keep doing what we're doing. As I said, I want the impossible dream of 22 or 25 out of that squad to be that. That's not going to be that. But who knows, really? Some people are going to break through, be there for a couple of years. Some people like Saka can stay the distance. You know, it is what it is. Some people could be potential first teamers. They want to bust out. You know, we bought Ishmael Benassia from another club, but I would have loved for him. Couldn't disagree with Yunus Musa leaving because Valencia gave you such an attractive offer, but I think you'd be in the first team. I hope Ethan commits. You know, and there's a couple of others really. So that's what I would say, if I'm honest. 9 more likes and we're in the promised land, people. I've offered my opinion. My opinion is fuck them, man. Like, they're gonna chat. Exactly. Because there's nothing else for them to talk about. Of course they're gonna keep waffling. Toney can't take it, such a weirdo, and don't like him as when he mentioned only Brentford comment, no manners. Crazy. I mean, I like him, but if people don't, it's a bit harsh. I don't know, man. Right now I'm trying to hear that Douglas Luiz one, man. I can't lie to you. Big up Barry. It's been a while. Shout out to you, my guy. Iwobi's been good since people listened to Wenger and took him out of he can play as a 10, but took him off the 10/left wing and played him centre mid. He's doing his thing. Apart from Pepe, there is a transfer in the last few years that hasn't increased in value or held it at least. Not sure what you're saying there. I wouldn't say it's a race thing. I don't think they're hating on Ethan because of that. I think they're just chatting shit. And I agree with G1 here. I love Toney. Refreshing to see players like him in the league. I can't lie. Too many snowflakes about in this football team. Toney has washed the hype. He's gas. He's not rushed. Can't play for the squad. If Ivan Toney signed for us tomorrow, I'd be quite happy. I think he played better with better players. I think there's a lot to like about him. I like his mentality. It's just the banter's got a run in it, you know. If I sit here and I say Spurs are shit, we're gonna beat Spurs, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then Spurs beat us, God forbid, and I get clipped up, I have to take that. I was chatting crud, I have to take that. And some fans are never gonna let you forget that, you know. Shout Melisa because she was on my channel. People never let her forget when she says chat to Brighton and them, man. Ivan Toney fans are not gonna let you forget it. No one died. No one's been rude. You know, it is what it is. If Brentford won, he would have been chatting crud because he would have probably added Lacazette. Shout Lacazette because he's petty. I see him retweet it as well. I love that from Lacko, man. And I seeing Lacazette, I'm so happy we got Jesus. I know we sat down Sergio Ramos, but Lacazette was so immobile, really. It's nice to see Jesus runs, man. Like Lacazette was playing like he just backed some mac and cheese, curry goat, jerk chicken, and the rest of it, and he's got enitis, if you know, innit? So yeah, man. Thanks for reaching 200 likes. We got 200 likes. Thank you to all of you lot, man. You lot are real ones still doing the Lord's work, man. Thank you very much for that, man. As usual, the likes, the engagement, the talking points. Again, they'll be pointless waffling here day in, day out if you lot didn't support the Ting people. And again, tough times never last, but good times, hopefully they do, people. You know, obviously, after this, 3:15, probably for about 45 minutes. I'm going to be speaking Arsenal with Babs. If you've got any talking points, make sure you're there. Smash the like button on this and that. Help the engagement. We're flirting with 50,000 subs, man. So, yeah, man. I like you lot, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, he did disrespect Brentford, and they need to hold him, but I wouldn't say he's a bum, man. Yeah, man. Lacazette was my guy, but he couldn't move, bro. He couldn't move, man. Couldn't move, bro. And Lacazette with Jesus displays to fans what I tried to say, bro. Stop talking about work rate, bro. We're talking that. One of my biggest football pet peeves. Don't get it twisted. I like energy. Energy is infectious. Seeing man run about and stuff. But stop praising players for working hard and running about. People used to say that, and as I always give the example, if you're talking with another brethren about two of your friends, yeah, one's a baller. Let's say Jack's a baller, yeah. Oh, Jack's a baller. You can't get the phone off him in a phone box. He's got the eye of a needle pass. You know that guy's lit. If I now say, oh, Jimmy, man, why do you think Jimmy's a good player? Oh, Jimmy puts a shift in. He works hard. He shits then. Like, respectfully, come on. Jesus does that as well and more. Respectfully to Laka. It's not a Laka hating thing. It's, yeah, man. As an Everton fan, I think Iwobi is finding his feet, but I think we seem to be clicking, and Lamps is taking a leaf out of Arteta's books. Careful, man. The book is different. We're taking the Pep Guardiola book, man. But Lacazette's not stressed out no more, man. Can do his balloons and all them things in peace. And, you know, Arsenal's a very delicate situation. So, yeah, man, appreciate that, Simba. I wouldn't even say it's hate. It's just gassing the thing. Just leave, my man. And to be fair, Arsenal, if we didn't play him, the whole footballing world wouldn't be capping. If you're talking directly about Danny Murphy and all them, you know, they might have a story if our form goes down the toilet, we start getting collapsed, we start moving shit, but they've got no other story at Arsenal. If Arsenal, see how we've won 6 of the 7 games. If we only won 1, then they've obviously got a score. They've got no other story. You know, they can talk about Arsenal's injuries. They can only review, be creative and waffling. Just forget them, man. These work rate merchants have started again. That's the bare minimum of a footballer. Exactly. The French league is like playing teams like Preston and Blackpool. Championship quality, a bit harsh. I would take it as well, but yeah, I am never going to praise a footballer for solely working hard. Shout out to you for the work rate, but I am never going to say that. I'm never ever going to say. I'm sorry. Anyone that does that's a dud. I respect everyone's opinion, but it's dud talk. It's duddery. Like, no, you should be working hard. If you go Nando's, are you going to praise the guy for making the chicken? No, you're not, bro. Like, it's standard. You got the instructions. Do your thing. Do you lot get praised for doing your job? If you do your job very well, then yeah, but do you get your job? Do you praise the postman for delivering the post? Come on now, man. You should be doing that anyways. You lot don't praise me for being, well, some of you do. I'm lying. Thank you very much. You don't praise me for being consistent. I don't necessarily take in that. If I want to get somewhere with what we're doing, then that's the minimum sort of thing. I don't ask nothing of anyone that I don't apply myself, man. We are a target of agendas, us and United, because we get clicks. Until Arsenal fans learn to air it and actually take a leaf out of Arteta and the club, where rightly or wrongly they just seem to just tunnel vision thing, they're gonna keep paying their bills. I didn't say you gotta have hard work. You're not listening. You're not listening. I said it's a minimum. Like, I don't praise them for making that. You're not listening. Work hard is like praising me for standing up bare minimum. Nah, Liga is overheated. There's quality. And I mean, everybody says it's championship quality or a farmers league. And then when we start talking about transfers, it's dons that from these farmers league that you want. I can't praise DG for being consistent because that's the bare minimum to become the GOAT streamer, which he can reach. Thankfully, with supporters like you, look, we can get there one day. Nowhere near that, mate. Nowhere near that. But by God's grace, with supporters like you, how can I lose people? But on that, yeah, we've been here for 2 hours. I'm tired of listening to my voice, people. As I said, what's the time? 1:30. I'll be back again at 3:15, people. As I said, you know, set your reminders. Because I make sure you're setting your YouTube and Twitch reminders, because I've been hearing you lot don't get it, people. So, yeah, that's that. 3:15 on YouTube and Twitch. 4:30 to Play FM. That's me for the day. And I'll be back tomorrow. What's for lunch? Rice and chicken and sweet potatoes still, man. We didn't have work rate for years. Again, yeah, that's why I can't blame people. I do it myself. When I see Ramsdale, a keeper that can actually catch. Wow, Tomiyasu, a guy that can defend. Saliba the same. I'm amazed by it, but at the same time, I can't praise you for that. The standards have been on the floor. I can't blame fans for that. Toney will be in 5 years will be a nobody. Watch, bro. I mean, if he is, but I wouldn't wish that on that. I hope he can keep having a career in that. But yeah, man, this ain't nothing to do with me, man. Make sure you work hard. Again, Twitch and YouTube both move mad. So you're doing your. No one's online on Twitch, so there's no raids. So yeah, people, pardon me. Thank you for your talking points, for your engagement. Time has flown, for your support, all these things, man. I can't say thank you enough, man. Journey to 50,000 and 100 and all them things are still kicking. If you're not following on Twitch, follow. We're at 6,000. We need to get to 10,000 soon. But yeah, man, you lot stay blessed, stay safe. I'm gonna love and leave you lot. I don't know why the mic muted, but safe, man. See you at 3:15 and obviously 4:30.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like.